CT Radio. Experience ultra high performance.
Visit your local discount tire and service centers for all your automotive needs. We're family owned, serving as your one-stop shop to have your vehicle running smoothly. We offer 5-star services and a price match guarantee. Plus, get 2 tires free when you purchase 2 select tires. What are you waiting for? Go online and schedule your appointment today.
Are you ready to rev up your career? At the University of Northwestern Ohio, our high-performance motorsports program puts you in the fast lane with a 70% hands-on education. Learning from the best in the business, you'll master the skills needed to excel in the world of motorsports. From the pits to the paddocks, UNOH students and graduates dominated all facets of racing. Turn your passion into a career at UNOH. Apply today at unoh.edu.
Is this it?
This is it!
Driving is more than competition, it's a way of life. I've been building cars for as long as I can remember. When it's time to perform, I go all in. With Eneos Performance Lubricants, every ounce of power and protection counts. Eneos, the original JDM motor oil.
Look at that backdrop. There is not a cloud in the sky, but we're going to make some of our own. This is round 7 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. We are here at Utah Motorsports campus. Can you feel it? Yes, you can.
Utah is now the fastest track in our series.
Very difficult to see exactly where the edge of the track is when you're coming in with a lot of speed.
Boxy's once again right there. Look at that left foot brake. Odie risking it for the biscuit. Banging doors. Oh, doctor. Beecham is guaranteed his first ever Formula Drift podium.
Hell yeah.
Look at it. Using all of the cars. What do we got?
I think we got a TV.
It's Osbo and Boxy's in the final. The cars are wound up, and there it is. Odie Boxy's once again. The driver that elevated and gets the win is Odie Boxy's. Welcome to a beautiful day in Utah. Burt Brothers Motor Park playing host to round 7 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. It's double duty weekend for us as we had Pro Spec. Not only around the final round, round 4 of the Link Engine Management Pro Spec Championship came to an end, and it was all Cody Buchanan. Not only did he win the event, he won the 2025 championship. And now our eyes are on the prize as we have our second to last round, and it all culminates on the streets of Long Beach, Shoreline to be exact. A brand new track, LB2, but that's where it began. Long Beach, round 1, and it was Frederick Osbo back to his championship form. Out of Long Beach and those unforgiving streets, Frederick Osbo came out on top. There it is, James Dean obviously in the mix and part of the conversation because he showed up and got the top spot in Atlanta. Jacob, taking a look, I mean, so poetic. Obviously the drivers with the most wet driving prowess. Would you agree?
Yeah. I mean, incredible drivers in the wet, and yeah, James gets the win after, was it 2-1 more times? An incredible night. Yep. I mean, everybody at that event got their money's worth on their tickets, and that pushes us into Orlando with Manoa.
History.
Oh man, I mean, crazy night. Castro getting on the box as well. A driver that's done so well in Orlando in general, but unfortunately for him, Manoa just on perfect form.
Breaking the record, the youngest ever to win an event. Then Adam LZ campaigning in his own vehicle. Yes, we've seen him win in New Jersey. Yes, we've seen him win in a Mustang, but this one was special. He had family in the building, and this was his own car. The Drift HQ BMW, probably the largest trophy ceremony we've seen. Then move on to St. Louis. This is an all-Irish affair here as Jack Shanahan, the brother, joins the conversation here in the States. No newcomer to drifting, but a newcomer to Formula Drift, and it was a 1-2. James Dean backs that up with another win, and Freddie still is looming in the shadows. Matt, field. The Beast from the Bay came out on top, and this is what we anticipate. This is what we expect. And a win in Seattle, you know he has a package that could really work for him.
Yeah, and Seattle is just a massive shift. It really sets up the rest of the season of the championship race because that field's still in this. He's got a fighting chance with it, but this is how the season stacks up.
70 points, every win from here on out, from 32 to the podium. Every win is 10 points. You do the math, the scenarios will unfold as the bracket whittles down to the finals. We have top 32, we have a halftime break, and then we go into 16, 8, 4, and then eventually find out who wins here. Mathematically, these drivers are out of the conversation for the championship, but overall, we have been here the entirety of the season. Thank you for joining us here. I'm Jared Dienda, and joining me here is Jacob Gettens. Jacob, glad to have you back. Again, host of the Outer Zone podcast. If you want some more in-depth interviews, talking with the drivers, people behind the scenes like Matt Sopa, talk to the fridge, talking to the judges, and everybody in between. So it's some great insight for all those, let's just call it as nerds. Yeah. Because nerds isn't a bad thing. There used to be a movie called Revenge of the Nerds. Look it up for all you boomers out there, or not boomers. But all joking aside, great podcast, great interviews. Jacob Gettens. I'm Jared Dienda, another member of a broadcast team. We'll bring her in accordingly. Mrs. Lorette Nickel is back in the building. She'll have some great insight from some drivers, some crew, some staff, and everything in between. Competition timeouts. And if yesterday was any indication of what's going to go down today, it's going to get crazy. And I'll tell you what, top 16 yesterday, it was wacky, it was wild, and it's our Formula Drift. It's your Formula Drift. It's quite an experience here in Utah. Very fast track, the dust, the smoke, all of it's going to come into play. Jacob, taking a look at the top 32. Of course, all eyes are on that right-hand side of the bracket. James Dean and Haley, and Frederick Osbo and Nick Novak. Can that Rockstar energy drink driver gain some ground? And he's hoping James Dean repeats what happened last year. James Dean, notably four-time champion, winning the 24 championship, but didn't have the best of luck here in Utah.
No. This track has not been a track that he's done incredibly well at, but really a lot of eyes right now on Frederick Osbo. He's got to win that battle against Nick Novak, who looks on form all the way through practice. It's not going to be an easy one for him. And then that ends up pushing them potentially against each other in top 16, but we're getting way, way far ahead of ourselves on that one.
Yeah.
Practice was nuts. A lot of spills, a lot of thrills, everyone just trying to dial in, a lot of questions in drivers' meetings. It's intense. Everybody is taking this very seriously because 1 inch off track means that car is in the dirt, and it is incredibly unforgiving.
Yeah, they've been backfilling with dirt, filling in. When you go off track, also, and we'll break it down the track here in just a moment, rumble strip, stay off of dirt. Stay away from it. It's going to grab you like the mummy. It's going to pull you in. I don't know what movie you want to use. Tremors if you're old, Dune if you're young. But that sand will grab you and rip you up. We saw the answer with Amanda Sorensen. We saw it with a few drivers like Barutsky and Chen on that last outside zone. But if I was a betting man, which I know y'all are, scan that code, okay? I'll take a moment, get out your phone, like I'm going to do it right now, break it out just for timing-wise. You hit that, the little yellow thing pops up. You got an iPhone, depending on your device, and there you go. So there's the flow code. Now, what you're going to do with that is because the DraftKings odds to win here, Formula Drift is live on DraftKings now. Claim an exclusive bonus, bet only $5 on FD, and get $300 in bonus cash to play with. So visit NextBets, nxtbets.com, or you scan that flow code, and we'll put it here at the back end to claim your bonus cash and make your picks. Be sure to get your bets in before the round of 16 kicks off if you want to play. That's a no-brainer. $5, you get $300, Jacob? Seriously.
Crazy.
All right,
Crazy.
I quit. I'm just going to go bet. All right, here are NXT bets right now. Here are some odds. $20, you win that. Even if you don't like the person, let's just call it what it is. I don't like him, but gosh darn it, I know he's going to win. Do it. Why not? So again, 21 and over, please refer to affiliated operators, codes, and void where prohibited. So thank you again. Place your bets. DraftKings is live. NXTbets.com is the portal. And if you can't bet, you can play fantasy. They have fantasy football, which I play.
Yep.
Do you play fantasy hockey?
I do play fantasy hockey.
Yeah, there we go. And he also plays Dungeons & Dragons, too.
A little bit, here and there. Yeah, that's very fantasy.
Lightning Bolt. Here we are, Fantasy League standings. Jeffers 31 leading. Don't know these names, but you can see them right there. Fantasy League. So scan that QR code. Last chance to pick your fantasy team.
Yep. Grab a couple of drivers. You can throw in some bonus multipliers in there as well. It's a ton of fun.
And they're the most popular, and is it any coincidence? Obviously, Adam LZ, unarguably probably the most widely known driver across automotive fields and all that, but James Dean, can't deny him, 4-time champion, and Frederick Osbo, part of the conversation once again, going for his 4th. James Dean breaking the record last year, the most Formula Drift championships, but Frederick Osbo would love to be part of that alumni. There's only one James Dean. A beautiful backdrop, one of the most scenic in all of Formula Drift competition in the 2025 season. The top 32 is set. We start with 32, whittle it down to 16 after the halftime break. So it's a beautiful day as we kick off our Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32. Matt Field, the beast from the Bay, a lot of momentum coming out of Seattle. His eyes are on the prize. Yeah, they're shielded with some heat waves. He's going against D-Mad, Derek Madison. Look at that winning percentage from Matt Field. D-Mad's working it out, that new car. Have high expectations for him, but here he is going against Matt Field, Jacob.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one for sure for Derek Madison. Matt Field still within that championship contention, needs to push, basically for anybody that's in that top 5, you have to win everything at this point. So it's going to be pretty wild.
Matt Field will lead. Derek Madison chasing him down, and away they go. Here we go, Matt Field into that first outside zone, past that inside clip, into second outside zone, little hit and quit, into outside zone 3. This is the point of contention. This outside zone really came into conversation in the driver's meeting. Look at Derek Madison, outside that smoke line, but that gives him really great vision. Outside zone 4, Matt Field absolutely on rails, the beast from the Bay. And Derek Madison, he was there. He was tucked back, gave himself enough room, but I'll tell you what, Matt Field looked really prim and proper. He was on rails.
Yeah, he's got to play this tidy. I mean, Derek Madison by no means is any pushover, but Matt Field can't get too crazy throughout this run. He's got to fill all those zones. Big point that Jared talked about is when the drivers are lighting off through outside zone 3. Matt Field does a really good job of that. Derek Madison in this chase all the way through. Great transition from D-Mads. Does a good job to now close up the gap going into outside zone 4. Very, very tidy from both drivers. Everyone saw what happened yesterday, how much mechanical damage can happen you coming off the track. So I think everyone's very, very aware. And it's you want to play the edge of the track, but just a little bit over, and your entire weekend, your entire championship race could be over.
The breeze is blowing which way? It's kind of in our face. So, well, is it going right to left? It looks like I'm trying to look for the flag.
Yeah, it's heading up track.
Yeah, and I think that's going to help out outside zone 3 because of that smoke is so thick, Pro Spec compared to Pro. And speaking of Pro and Pro Spec, these gentlemen are doing double duty. Reese Marin joined us for the entirety of the season alongside Brian Egger, and rejoining us, Vernon Zvanveld, a.k.a. Big Vern, is out here once again, and this is his final round. We'll see Robin Nishida as they split duties. 4 rounds for Vernon, 4 rounds for Robin Nishida. So Vern, suck it up, Buttercup. Here we are as take it all in, and hopefully we'll see you next year. But again, still a lot of judging here at round 7 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. Derek Madison, coilover depot, S chassis will lead. Matt Field, boiler performance, heatwave visual, lean customs, Corvette. Does he have his breathing strips on?
Yeah, I think he does. I think he does. He's locked in with those.
I can see his horoscope through his nose. He'll breathe so well. Here we go. Derek Madison, open it up and getting in that second. A little bit of correction there in the outside zone 2, going into 3. Look at Matt Field. You can see him adapting to more of a straight line approach. Madison gets in the dirt. Oh, that is way off.
Yeah.
And that's smart approach. Look at Matt Field adapt to the unfortunate mistakes of Derek Madison, but that really solidifies it. Derek Madison, D-Mads, just going a little too hard, getting a little too aggressive out of the gate. He knows who he's going against. Need to throw down a heater line and just went too hard.
Yeah, just a little saucy on that one. Everything started off really, really well here for Derek Madison, who, I mean, back in 2022, he came second in Pro Spec, so he knows this track well. He's driven here quite well. Outside zone 3. Everything's locked in, and just that little bit, I don't know if he just had a touch too much wheel speed or something, but floats off track, does a good job to try and get things back together, but not really able to. And then as we get into outside zone 4, that's going to be all she wrote there for Derek Madison on that run. But yeah, I mean, everything looks solid at that point. I don't know, maybe just lost a bit of grip, a little too much wheel speed, something like that, and comes off track. And that's how easy it is to go off track here.
And kudos to Matt Field. He saw that, shut it down, quick little correction, back at it. Good practice for him. Matt Field, the beast from the Bay, gets the win. He could literally breathe a heavy sigh, even more so now, like I said, with those nasal strips. He debuted those last weekend. It's pretty cool. So we'll see as we advance on the conversation. Only this round and one more round left with the championship. Let's throw it down to Lorette Nickel, who's with the 4-time champ.
So far out. Hello, everyone. So excited to be here outside of Salt Lake City with James Dean. And James, we have to address the obvious, the car up on Jack's. What's happening here?
Yeah, so we're having a really strong practice session, and the car has been amazing. Like, I felt very, very good this morning in practice. Unfortunately, we felt the clutch go kind of bad on our last run and felt a vibration come into the drive line, and I confirmed it by putting the car into neutral and revving it, and could feel the vibration with the engine RPM. So happy that it's nothing to do with the engine and it's a clutch related problem, so we can fix it. But it looks like right now we're kind of running a bit tight for time, so the stress levels are turning up a little bit, but I feel like the team, they have it under control. Like, Shelby had the transmission out by herself in like 6 minutes. Like, she is unbelievable. And not sure what they're dealing with this very second, but they're working on something, and hopefully we're going to get out there for top 32.
We'll keep our fingers crossed for you, James. Guys.
James just taking it on the chin, and this is what we were talking about, Jacob. You know, we're talking with our producer, Ken. We're talking about stories and how it unfolds, and the variable is the equipment up to snuff? And this is what we're talking about. Those gremlins, having a relationship with them, high-fiving the devil and saying, hey, brother, not today, Satan. You know, but those gremlins show up and could just rain on your parade.
It happens. You can, I mean, as a driver, you can be doing phenomenal, but mechanical issue in the hard part, you won't have any time to test it. Just got to go with it.
All right, so speaking of, again, another Irishman, Jack Shanahan, he's going against Daniel Stuckey. Stuckey out front in that Kenna Tires S chassis. Shanahan, welcome to Formula Drift, baby, as he pops out of that smoke. Nice job from him. Stuckey, great angle here. Jack Shanahan, he was on the box, like we said, earlier this year in St. Louis. Stuckey, good placement from him. Very smooth and consistent from Stuckey. This is that was an exemplary run for Stuckey.
Yeah.
Shanahan, a little bit of wavering, wasn't exactly matching the angle, but still aggressive.
Yeah, Stuckey, I mean, very, very solid out front. Got in a little bit close to that initiation point that is new for this weekend. He does a great job through the inside clip. Second outside zone looks solid. Tons of angle coming into 3. Lights off those tires really quick. And right here, Jack just overcommits just a touch, falls back into place, and does a really good job of making up the distance going into outside zone 4. So for Jack, with a very uncharacteristic mistake, does a good job. But I did see there Stuckey gripping up a little bit and coming out of outside zone 4. So we'll see how that all plays out. I mean, Stuckey did make it into top 16 here last year, so we know he can drive here. Yeah, it's just doing well. I don't know if he was, oh, it's his gloves. I thought he was waving to Jack there for a moment, tell him to get on the door. So Stuckey, those big white gloves, I don't know. For me, I think you go with the darker gloves, don't let the judges see your hands.
You cheater.
No, it's not cheating. It's just
but then it highlights, like I said, black wheels.
Yeah.
You know, obviously it can mask some things, but if you're a G, you run white wheels, white gloves, because then it's going to highlight how much of a gangster you are.
And Stuckey's got quite the fit going, man. I mean, the race suit, everything else, the hair coming out, he's all about the style.
Yeah. Well,
matches the car.
You know what? The car always looks better when it's on the podium.
That's a good point.
You know? So, all right, so Jack Shanahan will lead Daniel Stuckey giving chase. And here we go. Jack Shanahan, love his attitude, him and his lady, just great people off track. And would love to see him back on the box again, but Stuckey says, nah, I'm gonna rain on your parade. I know you're used to the rain, living in Ireland, but right now Shanahan, he's doing it. Great placement of that vehicle. Stuckey having some struggles now. He is just a bit short on outside zone 3. Now coming at last outside zone. Look at that. So, and that was really highlighted that Jack does have the horsepower, because you saw him transition from 3, quick, snappy, right to angle, and he sucked up right back to him really efficiently. Stuckey maybe having a little bit of trouble on 3. He did find that sweet spot at 4. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Jack does some really interesting things in this run. Outside zone 1, good. Inside clip looks solid too. Look at right here. He throws that nice and early and then decells before he gets into the zone, which is what the judges are looking for. And it does give Stuckey a massive opportunity to get into the pocket. Stuckey not able to quite match it, but does a really good job in the chase of staying within the fight the whole time. A couple of corrections here and there to try and get back into it. A bit more of a tempered approach, I would say, for Stuckey in the chase. But Jack, like a lot of the best drivers that we've got, listen to the drivers' meeting, understand what the judges are looking for, and then we'll adapt the way he drives to make sure he's meeting that criteria. So, already looking for that BC Racing custom coilover side-by-side. Completely agree there. So let's take a look at the leads. That, to me, is going to be the big determining factor here. First couple of zones look pretty on par. There's Stuckey. Does a great job of floating it in there pretty deep through outside zone 3 for him. Maybe best Jack just a little bit through the first part of that. Outside zone 4, though, it's kind of tough to tell, but to me, Jack might have had the advantage there. So you start going back to look at the chase. So lots going on, but that was a tight battle. Very, very tight battle for both these drivers.
Yeah, so, again, not flawless on either side of it. Some moments that were really exemplary, and I think they were highlighted by some mistakes on the other side. And I agree with this call right here. I think Stuckey had a good lead run. Jack had just enough to have a good chase run, and unfortunately Stuckey, where Jack was really shining, it was highlighted by Stuckey's way on the inside, especially outside zone 3. I think that's really where a lot of focus is, how you manage that, not only in the zone, but it's what you do before and after, how you transition from 2 to 3 with fluidity, rate to angle, and setting yourself up for success to 4. Because I feel like 4 is just like, you're kind of exhaling the car. Yeah. You're going through it, but 3 is just the meat, man. It is a sandwich, and it's like Arby's, dude. We have the meats, and it's right in the middle. So, Wataru Masayama, welcome back to Formula Drift. We saw him at round in Seattle. Yep. Unfortunately, Daigo Saito, the former FD champ, an absolute legend in the drifting world, unfortunately cannot make it over here to the States, so he says, I'm not coming. Masayama or Jerry Yang said, hey, ring, ring, come on over, bang. I'll tell you what, the combination of Masayama compared to his S15, great car, awesome car, did okay. This car, wow, what, like, swipe left or right, I don't know those dating apps, but yeah, like, go, get married, bro, amazing. So Masayama is back. He's going against Federico Sharifo. Let's talk about the momentum map here. Now, those red lines, don't behold those. Don't think about decel. Think about momentum.
Yeah, momentum change. That's kind of what you're looking for. So that's a spot where the chase driver can anticipate for the lead driver to be changing the speed of the vehicle. Just to give them that heads up. That's an area where that change is going to happen. So chase has got to be ready for that, and lead is able to adapt in that area. So we saw a great example of that with Jack, and we'll see what happens here. Yeah, I'm very excited to see what Masayama's got, because he looks so good.
He looks so good in Seattle. Like I said, dude, put a ring on that thing, man, because that was a marriage made in drift heaven. Masayama and Chuka Racing, Jerry Racing, 3M GT Radial 86 out of that second outside zone. Federico back there a little bit in Fiorella, the Ferrari. That's the nickname of the car right now. Dropping in that Pennzoil vehicle, tucks in, doesn't mimic the exact angle, but this is what we're talking about, man. Whoa, buddy. Gets that back right, sheds that bathing ape, more like Dusty Ape. He needs to take a bath because that thing got very dusty, but it seemed like one tire at first glance.
I think so, yeah. I think it was just the one. Still tough go. That'll be a kind of a big hit in the judges' eyes as well. So let's see, Masayama's initiation looks so solid. Gets into that first outside zone, but maybe not as quick. Picks up a lot of speed with that now. Federico's got to adapt, has got to pick up the pace in order to get back in. And Masayama's struggling a little bit through outside zone 3. Once he gets that left foot brake planted and gets the car into angle, he looks really good. Another small correction there, and then outside zone 4. He comes off throttle going in midway through outside zone 4, and that's what ends up pushing him out. So I don't know if that was a mechanical thing or something going on, but it was really strange, and that seems to be why that ended up happening. Federico, he looked honestly phenomenal in practice. Really, really good. I'm hoping that once he gets back in the lead, we'll see that side of Federico really, really come out. But right here, Masayama, you can see, lock. I mean, you're going to lose some smoke because one wheel's in the dirt, but it looked like a bit of a straighten, maybe even an understeer. Something else that the drivers talked about is that once somebody goes into the dirt, especially if the wind is heading up track, that fine little layer of dust that gets on it makes that track just a little bit slicker as well. So another factor that these drivers have to take into account for it. I mean, you can kind of tell even with us up in the booth, everything gets that little fine layer of dust on it, and the track is no different.
Yeah, a little shuffleboard effect, as we've said. Unfortunately, just a small breeze. I've had events here, more rallycross, but obviously we've been coming here with Formula Drift, and they have drift events here. Even tomorrow, I know Reese is sticking around and going to be out here at Burt Bros. But again, this track, you know, you get a lot of elements. It's hot. Also, I think yesterday when we went to 16, the temperatures dropped and it changed considerably for the drivers as well. So a lot of variables as far as weather, condition, dust, wind,
elevation.
heat. Yeah, elevation.
It's a big
you're
one.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, nearly 5,000 feet elevation.
It's the turbos are working a lot harder. You're not getting as much oxygen jammed in with superchargers. Naturally aspirated needs, you know, some pretty heavy retuning. So a lot of the guys have to make some big engine mount corrections for this elevation.
Love the uniqueness of Fiorella and Federico Sharifo, and such a cool, unique car. Let's see about placement. He does miss that inside clip 1, sets it up nicely for 2, going into 3. Masuyama, he's back there a little bit. He needs to apply the pressure a little bit, but placement of the vehicle, pretty spot on. Fetty gets involved with that dirt in that last outside zone. Masuyama bathing in the smoke. Federico. So now he's on the opposite side of that outside zone. So,
yeah,
you know, unfortunately, you know, Fetty in that chase position, he was off of it. He had a smooth line, but just wasn't exactly where he needed to be.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to zones and mistakes in the lead. So first outside zone looks good for Fede. Misses that inside clip. Second outside zone, maybe just a touch deep into it. Slingshots pretty well into outside zone 3, and then similar to Masuyama, having to use that big lift up brake to try and get that car back at angle. Once he's settled, not too bad, although shoots a little bit over and gets into the dirt, adds a bit more angle through outside zone 4 and looks pretty solid through most of it, but comes out of the zone a bit early. So there's probably 3 spots in this run where it's going to go against Fede. The judges are already calling for that side-by-side to be able to compare it a little bit more. Yeah, it'll be kind of interesting. Both chases were pretty similar, kind of scrappy, not quite sure where they need to go. When the lead driver's dropping dirt like that or missing zones, it becomes very difficult for the lead driver, or for the chase driver, to adapt to that. So,
yeah,
what's going on?
I kind of disagree with you because Arturo definitely had some mistakes, but Fetty didn't even get to outside zone 2, like, and 3
Yeah.
he missed. He was on the. It just.
I mean,
when we look at that side by side, just walk us through it. And at first glance, I'd like to look at it again. Let's talk about the. So again, we'll get to that. I'll let you walk us through it, but also talk about the bubble.
Yeah, so that big white line you've got there, that's the initiation bubble where they were forcing the drivers to do a weight transfer initiation, which has been great for the chase, although maybe we don't see as much of it in this run, because it means it's very predictable for the chase car to know what's going on. So yeah, Jared pointing out on here, Fede in the chase pretty far back, pretty offline all the way through this, and Fede really having to cut a lot of the course through a good chunk of this. I do think, and see, it's tough because that was a big wheel drop all the way through outside zone 4 for Masuyama.
Was it the whole thing or was it just the latter portion?
The latter half of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's half that zone, but it's a big
Yeah,
zone.
but it's outside zone 4, but he did. It was only 1.
Yeah.
So we can agree to. I mean, do we agree?
We agreed that they need to clean it up.
Well, I think we're going to have a victor here, and this is the way I was anticipating. Wataru Masuyama gets the victory. I think Fetty it really did come down, as you said, the lead, and I agree with that, but the chase and how you manage that. Masuyama, I think through the first 3 outside zones, he nailed it. The last one on the latter portion, so let's say 3.5, he was on it, but that last portion getting in the dirt, and it was already done for Fetty in that chase, unfortunately. Again, aggressive, smooth, but placement of the car wasn't exactly right. So here's the keys of victory. Walk us through it. Talk about that bubble. Bring it up again.
Yeah, stay out of that bubble in the lead. Chase car can go through it. Keep tires on the track. That's huge. And then fill outside zone 2 completely, because that really sets up the transition to outside zone 3. So judges are already letting them know, hey, you've got it. You've got to completely crush outside zone 2, because if you don't, it's going to wreck almost the rest of the run.
And also flow, and that's what I was talking about. Outside zone 3 is a real point of focus, but it's before and after.
Yeah.
It's that zone 2, because if you're off, you're throwing off that chase car, and if you have not been following this your first round, we talked about it from Long Beach, round 1. That lead car needs to adhere to all the criteria and create a good opportunity for that chase car. If that lead car's off, it absolutely disrupts that chase car.
Yeah.
So we'll see how RCP, Rome Charpentier, and his BMW, Jonathan Hurst, in his Mr. Cool Cadillac, throws down. Rome will be leading. Anything else you want to add?
We'll talk about Hurst here in a minute, because it's a very fascinating story what's going on with him.
Well, he caught fire. He blew his motor, but obviously here he is. All right, Rome Charpentier, way past an inside clip. He gets to outside zone 2. But again, how is Hurst to manage that? Again, that Mr. Cool Cadillac into outside zone 3. And it looks like back there a consistent distance Rome takes a little out of it, finds that outside zone 4, and now coming on in. What happened with Hurst? Yeah, he was supposed to be out.
Yeah, blew the engine. Jerry Johnson dropped an engine off for him to use. Smaller, 6.7 instead of a 7-liter. He's running Hooman Rahiman's oil pan, and he's got Connor O'Sullivan's transmission in that car just to get back out here. So smaller engine. This is, to me, that's the heart of drifting. It's everything you can do just to get back out, to get one more battle underway. So, yeah, great job for the team for making that happen. Not a lot of sleep. Into the battle, though, I mean, yeah, Rome's got a couple of spots in here. He's really got to clean things up. A couple of big corrections. Hurst, though, pretty far back in the chase, and that is going to be tough. Look at how much he's got to take out of this. Now, some of this is going to be the smaller engine, the turbo setup. Everything in that car is not built for the engine that's in that car right now. So I'm sure there's a lot of concessions having to be made just to be able to get that car back out on track. I doubt they had much time to do any real tuning with it. So just the fact he's out there, that to me is a massive win for Hurst.
Bring that up again, the camaraderie here. Like you said, here's Jerry Johnson from Prospect, getting him a motor. He's local. Hooman Rahimi's this. I mean, it's a Frankenlack, dude. It's a Caddy Stein, whatever you want to call it, just coming together, and I think that's really cool because in other motorsports, it's like there's trade secrets, there's secret sauce, you don't share that, but hey, and again, we've seen battles where I think it was it Brutsky and I think Amanda Sorensen, he's over there working on their car when they were supposed to go against each other. That doesn't happen in other motorsports. It just doesn't. I'm just going to call it.
Another reason why the sport's so great.
Absolutely. Jonathan Hurst will lead. Rome Charpentier, RCP, will give chase. Here comes Hurst. There's around that bubble, wraps it around, and Jonathan Hurst in that first outside zone. He does play with that rumble strip. You have to stay off it. The judge said, do not hit the red and white. In the outside zone 3, there goes Hurst. A lot of handbrake being pulled there. He works it on in. He still had that flow, had the momentum. That did allow RCP to gain some ground. Look at him just absolutely marinating in that smoke. We got a close up point view. I'm going to really need to assess here because I don't think it was dominant on either side of the lanes or lead or chase. Lesser of two evils or the better of the evils?
Yeah, to me, Hurst's lead run was awesome. He's a little late to initiate. He's been doing that all the way through practice. Let's see here. It goes around the bubble and then kind of right at the last moment gets the car out. Now, there could be a few reasons for that, but that's just the way that he's got that big old clutch kick to get it. But, I mean, Hurst all the way through these zones, really solid, very stable. We talked about it in seating. They redid the rear suspension to make it a lot easier to drive. It's not as fast. You can see Rome having to kind of dart in and out a lot in the chase with that. I think a lot of it is just that Hurst is, probably 10 miles an hour slower, but significantly easier to drive. And he hits, that inside clip was solid, it's perfect. So that's kind of the back and the forth is you can have less grip, which means that the chase is going to be really, really tough for you. Or you can have more, but then when you swap things around, when you're chasing, it's tough too. So it's just how you want to set up the car. But for me, yeah, Hurst does a great job. Rome having to compete with a car that is a little bit slower and having to make some concessions.
And him just being here, we thought it was going to be a buy run essentially for, we had the seating brackets on Thursday, and his spotter's like, dude, he's out. He's done. That's a wrap. Yeah. And for him to even be here in competition, and not only competition, actually really giving it the beans, as they say, and well done by Jonathan Hurst. Like I said, both of them need to tighten it up. Whoever advances here into the 16, they'll go against, it'll be Masuyama, and we saw how clean outside of that outside zone 3 half, or excuse me, outside zone 4, the second half of it. So really need to bring it. Really need to bring it.
Yeah. The top 32, a lot of it's like that. You've kind of, there's a lot of jitters. Nobody wants to go out in top 32. If you go out in 16, it's one thing, but going out in top 32's got a pretty heavy sting to it. So for a lot of these drivers, there's a bit of nerves coming up to it. But yeah, we almost always see top 16 driving just heads and tails above top 32.
Adding to that dialogue, J.R. Hildebrand. Almost won Indy 500, works for IndyCar now. Has raced Pikes Peak most recently. Absolute ledge. He did drifting for a while. Tanner Faust, 2-time champion. They have both said they've never been more nervous in motorsports than in qualifying and running in Formula Drift.
I get it.
I don't get it because I'm not a driver, but I get it because of how abbreviated the run is and how concise you need to be and the car placement and trusting your equipment. And all those elements combine into just that quick little ADHD experience of driving. Put it here, put it there, bang, done. Like, what just happened? You like black out.
Yeah.
So I think that's a testimonial to, like you said, the pressure cooker.
And there's nowhere to make a correction. If there is a mistake, there's absolutely no spot that you can get back into it and kind of salvage that run. You might be able to stay on track or get a half decent score, but it's tough. There's just no spot. You make a mistake in F1 and you lose a tenth here, you might be able to make up 1 or 2 tenths later on and even it out. So there we go.
Wow, breaking this one down. Like I said, I think there's just small little incremental mistakes and also some good makes.
Yeah.
And you're weighing that like a scale.
Yeah, inside clip for sure. Hurst has got that. And then we get into the chase. Really for me, Rome's got him pretty pegged all the way through this chase. Hurst struggling quite a lot. It's going to be tough. Rome's really got a dominant chase all the way through, and Hurst doesn't kind of make it back into the battle until the end. So how does that weigh out when it comes to these battles? Like, it's a tough go. It's definitely a tough go for the judges on this one, but as you said, either way, cleaning things up is going to be necessary.
As they advance on, who will it be, Rome Charpentier or Jonathan Hurst? Still awaiting here, and this is a testimonial to a tough run to call. There is the Mr. Cool Kenda Tires Cadillac. And we talked about his chassis yesterday. I know you've worked with Jonathan Hurst in the past prior to coming up here in the box.
Yeah.
And you've seen the progression of his program. And him as a driver, man, I love his attitude. Fun-loving dude. And this is it. I absolutely agree with this call. I don't agree with rewarding kind of mistakes, but I think that's highlighting the mix.
Yeah.
So as things are heating up literally and figuratively, let's talk to the Beast from the Bay, who is with Lorette Nickel.
Oh boy, let's talk to him. So Matt Field does the thing, top 32, takes that first win. But it is not easy out on this track. It's pretty tricky out here.
It's tricky because it's dusty. When the track is clean and fresh and no one's flown off, it's an amazing track. You keep your foot to the floor, snappy transitions, picking up throttle early. Now, as I'm transitioning into a zone, I'm looking for dust. And it's very difficult. It's hard to see. The dust is the same color as the racetrack, and I think being calculated going into battle is very important, which makes it even harder to chase because you have no idea what the lead car is going to do either, and just part of the game out here.
Yeah, absolutely. And Matt's also calculating but making adjustments on the fly, so you can see his expertise coming into play there. Guys.
Thank you so much, Lorette. And Jacob, to your point, we talk about it, but you brought it up earlier about the dust on the track. And that is like this just lurking in the shadows, just that dust plays a role.
I look at it the same way as, we deal with rain. Yeah. It's an element of racing.
Yeah. All right, Jonathan Castro, Ben Hobson. Castro gets the first podium earlier this year. Ben Hobson would love to see him shine that big old Mustang. He noses that inside clip out of the way, now into outside zone 3. Want to take a look at Castro's initiation once again. We were kind of elaborating about the conditions now in outside zone 4. Castro drops in. Ben Hobson does as well. He's all up in the smoke, and Ben Hobson goes off. That'll be him going way off. Let's I don't think Castro did anything super uncharacteristic to throw off Ben, but I want to run it back on initiation. Did Castro do anything crazy?
No, just right on the edge of that bubble. Does catch a little bit of the rumble strip. Ben's really got to cut some line here to get back into it. Castro is, ton of speed coming through. Now, cutting some zones will help with that just a touch. Ben Hobson does a great job in the chase here outside zone 3. Castro does a great job in the lead there. Now into 4, Ben just over-rotates, and he is never able to get back onto the correct line and find the grip on that track. So really, it's the transition from 3 to 4 that we got to watch for. Let's see. Outside zone 3 looks great from both these drivers. I was really, really pumped for this, and it's just tough. Let's see. Ben gets on the inside and just isn't able to really get it. Now, I didn't see anything weird from Castro. There might have been a slight slow, but nothing crazy. But either way, just Ben looks like he might have overcommitted in that transition, and Castro was not in the right spot for him.
Yeah, I think that was basically it working against him, his transition into 4 and then being blinded by the smoke. I think that was just a panic moment and overcooking it and going off course. Castro didn't do anything uncharacteristic or out of shape or offline. I mean, he flirted with that red and white rumble strip on initiation, but he hit all the boxes. He ticked all the boxes. Small little nuances of maybe dipping in, but I don't think it was that drastic enough to impede on the flow of Ben Hobson. And Ben, like you said, outside zone 3, both of them, Castro and Ben, really well done outside zone 3.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like this was going to be one of the best battles in top 32, and that's the tough part. When, as we talked about before, nowhere to fix those mistakes. Everybody can see it. You can't hide it.
Hobson will lead. He is hoping to force an error for Castro because he did go off in the outside zone 4. Let's see how it unfolds and unpacks. Past that inside clip. He's on the wrong side of it just barely, about a Nitto tire distance now in outside zone 3. So there goes Ben in outside zone 3 properly. Castro, maybe just not enough horsepower to get it out there. He finally does dip that back left into outside zone 4. So here's Castro on the other side of it. Hobson pushing. So here we are. Where do the judges, more importantly, where do they weight the value? You know, because here's Castro short, but Ben went off and just talking about 4.
Yeah.
But the entirety of the run.
It's really, really tough. That was a big mistake. Now Ben, I mean, he's pretty tight there on that inside clip. He also did do a great job through the first outside zone. Through these big long zones though, I mean, Ben does a great job of getting the car settled in. Castro having to take a bit of angle out to keep up with the speed of the RTR, and does a good job of tucking back in here, but it does take a while for Castro to come out. But is that going to be enough for Ben to overcome that massive mistake that we saw after the transition and then dipping out, which I think was 3 wheels off at that point, so might be deemed an incomplete for that run on Ben, at least that half bit. So pretty tough. Judges pretty quick on it.
Yeah, and you know, as we elaborate on, you know, Castro and Hobson's run, I would have to assume that's you know, Ben Hobson going off. You know, the judges are in front of us, and we'll bring in Reese Marin speaking on behalf of the judges, Vernon and Brian. Reese, good morning, good afternoon to you. Morning. Good to see you again, man.
Yeah, man. No, good morning. Yeah, you're absolutely right. We saw that an outside zone 4, Ben just kind of miscalculated a bit, went off, got himself to 0. We did see some other errors as well, too, but ultimately that was the defining moment there since that resulted in a 0. So Castro moves on and gets the win.
Am I correct in saying the outside zone 3 is a real point of interest for you? Not only just the outside zone, but how you approach it and how you exit it?
Oh, absolutely. We went over that in the drivers' meeting. So far, I think they're doing pretty decent. It's odd, and we're starting to see other little inconsistencies everywhere else. So I think they're just going to have to gather their bearings, focus in, and as we progressively get through these battles, we'll see these guys focus a little bit more and get a little bit more fluid. Address
the situations as they come. Thank you, Reese, Brian, and Vernon, our 3 judges here for Formula Drift Utah, both Pro Spec and Pro. All right, BMW battle, 2 rising stars in the Formula Drift world over many years, and some making the jump from Pro Spec over to Pro. Connor O'Sully, welcome to Formula Drift Pro. Beecham will lead. We know he's capable of. He got his first ever podium here, was it last year, right? Yep. As Beecham gets in that first outside zone into the second, he's very comfortable. He likes this track and that ESR BMW. Look at O'Sully. Trent Beecham throws angle out. So does O'Sully. He's matching the energy right now into that last outside zone. So look at Trent. He was short on it. He goes deeper, and O'Sully. Talk about adaptation. He adapted to where Trenton was. Beecham, decent lead run, aggressive initiation, but watch O'Sully. He's like, you're going, I'm going.
Yeah, O'Sully is an incredible chase driver. Inside clip looks solid. Beecham just going a bit wide, but yeah, the way O'Sully adapts to all this, even that kind of a little bit late on the throttle from Beecham, it's such a great run in the chase there from Connor O'Sullivan, who, yeah, he's so good at adapting. It's one of his best qualities. And the other part too is he's dealing with like a really bad neck right now. He threw his, he said he was on a run. The G-force that these cars go through is something we don't talk about enough, but he actually don't know if he pinched a nerve or something like that, but was able to take yesterday, got some massages, everything else, just trying to work it out, but still not able to move his head all the way. And he's out there just throwing down, man. Like they don't give up for anything, but great job.
I feel like, you know, hey, welcome to getting old, first of all. Secondly, sleeping wrong. Yeah, you know, I'm you know, I'm one hiccup away from being paralyzed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I can't move. You know, what'd you do? I was walking.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, he battled through it, and a great chase run for Beecham. Looks like that car just hooked up a little bit too much on 4.
And I'll tell you, sometimes when you have those kind of injuries, you default to like, all right, go back to muscle memory, right? Like I have buddies who are caddies for golfers. When their golfers are mildly sick, they actually default back to the mechanics. That sometimes is a little bit of a blessing. Obviously, you don't want to be sick, but you default back to like, all right, this is what I got to do. You're not overthinking. You're not swinging for the fences. Here we go. Osoli now out front of the outside zone. Aggressive angle. Look at that. She's almost pulling that front left tire off the ground. Outside zone 3. There goes Osoli, and Trent Beecham. He's like, wait, what's going on here? He takes a little angle out of it, gains that proximity. Osoli does get Dusty into that 3rd outside zone. Now into that outside zone 4. There goes Trent Beecham. Osoli once again 1-2. Oh, buddy. That is not what you want to do. Talking about overcooking it and swinging for the fences. There it is. We saw this in Pro Spec yesterday. That outside zone 4, the latter portion took out Chen, Brutsky, and then eventually, I mean, shoot, crazy. Maybe right now as well.
Yeah, the big question is going to be is where's Beecham before that happens? Was there contact made before? Because Beecham, I mean, he's playing catch up through a lot of this run. He's got an angle, he's got line just to get back to the battle. And there, Osoli having to work it to get back out. Beecham does a great job of adapting in that as well. Osoli on a pretty tight line through that transition. And then comes out, I didn't see any. Oh man, that is tough. Everything looks so solid there for Connor O'Sullivan until that last zone, and maybe that's where this dust starts coming into play. Look at the little hip check there from Beecham, and then O'Sully. Yeah, I mean, it just looks like he went off and not able to get across the finish line.
I would say this is comparable to what we just saw with Hobson and Castro.
Yeah.
Don't push too hard. You got to keep it where the rubber meets the road. That is just when you see that brown cloud throw up, you're counting tires. 1, 2, 3, and you're out. 3 strikes and you're out, or 3 strikes and you're in. Trenton Beecham is in it to win it. And another man who's advancing on big ol' Irish boy, Jack Shanahan. Lorette, give him a big hug for me, if you will.
Jared wants me to give you a big bear hug, but maybe a little bit later, because what we're going to do right now is we're going to talk about practice. You had a great practice, and then all of a sudden the nerves came up. What happened?
So at the end of practice, we were pretty happy. Car was actually kind of flawless all weekend, so like we were like, it's the first time that we've had like no issues basically throughout practice, and then we've had like one bolt that's been failing on the back suspension all season for some reason, and we thought we had a fix because we had a look at it Thursday before practice, and then just before the battle, the guys were like, we'll have one look and make sure it's okay, and the bolt's at the bending. So I was kind of like, I was in a good, like real good headspace before the battle, and then when they said that the bolt was bent, we didn't really have enough time because we had like 3-4 minutes to get to the start line to be in the battle basically. So we had to risk it and like see if we were going to be good or bad, and thankfully, I was trying to be as smooth as possible and like not make too many corrections to put too much stress on it, and it worked out and we got the win. So yeah, top 16 now. So we'll see how it goes. It'll be fun.
Get that warrior mindset that was able to help you, Jack. Congrats, guys. Back to you.
Addition to the Formula Drift U.S. family, by no means, like I said, I mean, he's in the hunt for a Drift Masters championship, him and his brother. Excited to see what unfolds there for you, Jacob. I know you're going to be out there in Poland, so that's great to see.
Yeah, it's a fascinating season over there as well, and
cool.
I mean, it's cool to see, you know, FD drivers doing really well overseas as well. I mean, Piotr is in that same championship
coming
fight.
over doing that. I'd love to see Piotr over here as well.
Yeah, so do I.
Love to see the Candyman, man. He's a good dude. He's a fun-loving cat. So again, love to see that. Have fun in Poland, all you guys.
Thank you.
All right, RCP, Jonathan Hurst. Here's the one more time battle. Let's see what Rome Charpentier, the Garagistic BMW, throws down. Jonathan Hurst with this, you know, a hodgepodge piece of artwork right now. You know, 3D printed taillights, the motor from Johnson, parts from Human Rahimi. I think he got something from Hobby Lobby. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, he's throwing it all together.
It's probably a Chili's menu that's keeping something together on that car.
Little dab of ranch. We'll see. RCP out front. Hurst in that chase position. The Pride of Paducah. Throw some dirt on it. Well, actually, don't throw any dirt on it, because that seems to be the problem here when you throw some dirt on it. All right, RCP out the gate, bang, right there on it, nice job. Oh, and now we're talking about placement, baby. RCP out front. He says, all right, I need to tighten it up, and he does just that. Tightens up the screws. Jonathan Hurst back there a little bit. He's keeping it where the rubber meets the road, like I said. No, just as I said, that gets in the dirt. blinded by the smoke. Look at Rome. There's Hurst. That was good. I like that in the outside zone 4, but Jesse answered. He dipped the tire, but he brought it back. It was only 1, and that could definitely grab you, and especially if you get into the dirt, the 3-2-1 and outside zone 4, and you hit that rumble, it's going to spin you out, and you could be beat as well.
Yeah, this entire, I mean, every battle we're going to see here is on the edge of chaos at any moment in time, but I'd love to see Rome clean things up based on his previous run. Hurst does a really good job as adapting through this. Can almost promise he's down on the power he was expecting in this car, but does a great job. Looks like they've got that car hooked up a little bit more because his chase run, far more proximity on the chase run, but yeah, still kind of a little scrappy, but does a really good job. Rome cleaning things up so well. Just spotted Carson be in his ear and let him know kind of the mistakes on the previous run, and he cleaned up all that. Hurst, you can tell though, hunting for that grip, wanting to get in the side of Rome at any point in time, and does so right at the very end. Hurst car, I mean, yeah, they definitely got the rear end of that car sorted. Front end looks pretty soft. I mean, anytime he's touching the brake, you can see the nose dive just a little bit. So what is interesting, though, is a lot of drivers were fighting through a bunch of understeer. So I'm wondering with Hurst setup now if that's to help combat that. Touching the brake, dives in, you get a lot of weight on the front end. Things grip up pretty well. So understeer was a big factor in pro spec as well as in seating. So.
Yeah, and you got to take into consideration tire size, the horsepower wars,
yeah.
You know, the builds, all of it.
It's a lot, and I mean that it's a Cadillac, but it is a Corvette underneath that body for all intents and purposes.
Corvette with the RC car body of a Cadillac XLR.
It is a Vind XLR. He could have just bought a Corvette and put an XLR body on, but that is a proper XLR.
Big convertible guy. All right, drop the top, flip-flop, tank tops. Sun's out, guns out. Here it goes, Jonathan Hurst, pass that inside clip. Rome Charpentier giving himself a little bit of room now. Let's see if he can reel him in the outside zone 3. Jonathan Hurst throws some more. Look at that rate to angle. He double dips on the outside. Rome Charpentier gets disrupted. And here goes Jonathan Hurst. He's showering up. Clutch kicking that thing to keep it out. Did you hear that thing? Bang, bang, bang. He is trying to maintain that angle, and you saw the car gripping up. So it's a crapshoot on what you're going to get in outside zone 4 the conditions.
Yeah, and we'll get to that spot with Hurst because you can watch the car move. Now Hurst doesn't get all of outside zone 1, which means he's going to be pretty shallow or pretty far in on that inside clip. Now outside zone 3 looks pretty good, but it takes him some time to get into it. Really fighting that car. Rome does a good job of anticipating that, really shoots off an outside zone 4, and you can see every time with Hurst, he is fighting that thing all the way around. It's grabbing, it's gripping. Every time you hear that pop and bang, you know it's biting into the track. So not as smooth as what we would have come to hope for.
Yeah, this is what I anticipated. Rome just a little tighter. Rome did have some mistakes to going from outside zone 3 to 4. You saw him correct in that chase position. He did reinitiate and get it back out there. It was a quick little glimpse, but you know what? As the plot thickens here for round 7, the championship hunt heats up. And as we saw at the top of the show, Lorette Nickel talking with James Dean. She's down there with Shelby, I believe lead tech on that car. But Lorette, down to you, an integral part of James Dean's team.
Yeah, crew chief right here with Shelby, and we saw her under the car, and she is just an animal. You are incredible working on the car. What were some of the things that you were working on fixing?
We were diagnosing, we had a major vibration going on, so basically we pinpointed it down to the clutch. We had the hat actually broke a strap, caused a lot of ruckus going on, so removed that, replaced parts, and ready to send her back out.
Love it. Yeah. Shelby, thank you so much, guys.
Rhett, and thank you, Shelby, for some insight there. And you know, just gonna say it, you know, love Shelby. And here's a female in a role that you're like, wait, she's the crew chief? Yep, she's the crew chief, dude. She. It's like sometimes the women have to work harder to highlight and just overwork, and she is one of those absolute examples of working hard, busting knuckles.
Yep.
I don't know. Did I say that eloquently? I'm trying to just give her flowers.
Crew chief of the year last year.
Yep.
And well deserved.
Yeah, it's just a weapon.
Yeah.
And she doesn't even use an impact. She just has a firm grip. And no, I'm just kidding. No, all joking aside, she's quite a testimonial to hard work. Dylan Hughes, Ken Gucci. Speaking of hard work, Ken Gucci, OG since 2004. Dylan the Dozer Hughes. Hard-working gentleman, always has a good attitude. Definitely looking forward to this battle. Ken Gucci in seating brackets. We saw him go hard into a wall. him and his team getting out the race hammer, banging that thing back out, no problem for him. Looked really good in practice. Dylan Hughes as well, and now it comes down to this, like you said, that petri dish of emotion and coming all together. Top 32, you want to get in the 16, you want to advance on, you want to win. But you know you got to get through a fierce competitor. Dylan Hughes, Ken Gucci, here are these two gladiators. Dylan Hughes gets to the outside zone. Gucci came up a bit short there. Now into that second outside zone, hit it and quit it. Outside zone 3, Dylan Hughes now into there. Again, that big 2J under the hood for both these guys, actually. Now, didn't look like maybe a little bit of dirt. Gucci just not getting out to that sweet spot. Dylan Hughes rides the line. Don't know what's going on with Goosh, but that is not exemplary of what we saw earlier today and even this weekend.
Yeah, a bit of a tough one on that because Gucci looked so good earlier on this weekend, so not entirely sure what's going on, but let's take a look at this run. Dylan Hughes, very smooth, great job through the inside clip, outside zone 2, just touching that rumble strip just a little bit. Now, gets back on throttle, does a good job through there, left foot brake, you can see that smoke coming off the front wheel of Hughes' car. That's a great indication he's got the left foot brake down. And through outside zone 4, though, Gucci just nowhere to be found. Playing catch-up, front row seat to the Dylan Hughes show, as we say. And Hughes, very, very happy with that lead run from him. Now swapping things around, his dad, his spotter's going to be in his ear saying, hey, Gucci was pretty far back. As long as you're in that pocket, it's going to be a pretty good battle for you. So, great run there from Dylan Hughes. Ken Gucci, he's got to throw down. He has to throw down. He did win here in 2022. So he knows how to do it. You do ask him, though. He got a lot of luck on that round, but either way, you still got to finish the race to be lucky.
You got to finish what you start. Even though there's no checkered flag, there's the finish line. You have to drift past it, no contact, don't hit the dirt. As Frederick Osbo watching his competitors, Osbo always keeps a good composure. He very rarely shows weakness, and sometimes just like, oh golly gee, like, hey man, that guy I did my best, and just as he's progressed as a driver and as a human, absolutely love him. Again, he's trying to repeat once again. Here we go, Ken Gucci in the outside zone 1. Looks like he places it properly. He's got the clean air. That allows Dylan Hughes. So again, maybe a bit of horsepower difference here, and Dylan Hughes, good proximity. Let's mimic that angle a little bit more, but good placement now coming to outside zone 4. This is where it gets a little hairy, and we saw how much this outside zone 4 plays a role, and there it is. All right. For Dylan, if you're on Dylan Hughes camp, like his pops as a spotter, he's like, hold, because we saw that outside zone 4 just absolutely just punch you in the face and take you out.
Yeah, it's really tough, especially, going into that, knowing you had a really, really solid lead run and your competitor didn't have a great chase run. You don't want to overcommit. There's a few spots in here around Dylan, like just chill, just a little bit, bro, but there is no chill for Dylan Hughes at any point in time. Look at this run. So Ken Gucci does a really solid job out in the lead. He's filling all the zones, doing everything he needs to. And Dylan Hughes takes a nice snap dive through the later part of outside zone 4, but if you're a split second too late on that brake pedal, you're going into the side of the competitor, and then you're watching the rest of the event from the trailer. But Dylan Hughes able to pull that really nice transition off.
Really well done, and it's going to be enough. Dylan Hughes, Kenshiro Gucci knocked out in that Toyota GR86, the Greddy Motul, and Dylan Hughes, the Royal Purple BMW, will see more action in the top 16. Dylan Hughes to go against Connor Shanahan or Simon Olsen, two international superstars. Simon Olsen back behind the wheel of his Mark V Supra. Really love the combination of him in this car, and it looks like it's really working out for him, and this is how it's playing out. The yellow names, they're advancing on. So Field, Shanahan, Arturo Masayama, RCP, Castro, Beecham, and Dylan Hughes. The white names there, as those are the battles we are to see. So nearly halfway through our top 32. And there is Shanahan. A new car for him, seems to be working out decently. But as we know, on that freshman season, new car, coming together, working it out, would love to see him just really flourish. Simon Olsen back behind the wheel, as I said. What do you attribute Simon Olsen's success getting back behind the wheel of the vehicle?
They just kind of threw out everything and restarted from scratch with a lot of the setup, and it's taken a little bit, but they're there now. And actually with Connor, very similar with that. This is one of the first cars he's driven that his brother didn't build. He ran Rome's last year, but starting to look more and more like the European version.
Here we go, Connor Shanahan out front in that Red Bull 86. And Simon Olsen, he has some shimming in that chase position. Want to elaborate, unpack that there on our replay. Jacob into this outside zone 3. Let's see, Shanahan and Olsen. Simon just kind of a beat behind, a little delayed reaction. Shanahan outside zone 4. Simon good proximity, a little exceeding of that back, in that chase. You saw him kind of exceeding that line. Get back a little more, just a quick little yank of the handbrake, massage it back maybe a little bit. Let's take a look at it again.
Yeah, so Connor Shanahan, this initiation, this is how he drives.
Boom.
And yeah, it looks like Simon didn't quite time it correctly. He's able to punch through that bubble, not a problem in the chase, but from there on out, he's playing a little bit of catch up and starts to close that gap in outside zone 3. Connor Shanahan looks really solid. Fighting that car, it wants to jump forward, but he does a good job of holding that back. Now for me, Connor loses a bunch of angle through here, and I mean, there's not a lot of angle coming through the last part of that zone. That car is really, really biting through that section. And the upside is, with that lack of angle, I'd actually give Simon the opportunity to kind of really get on the throttle and get into the side of him. So other than the larger mistake in the beginning of mistiming the initiation for Simon, he does a really good job. Look at this.
Yeah.
And for me, Connor's not all the way out in that zone. He doesn't have a ton of angle through it. He does fill it with the right rear wheel, but it's not what we would more or less come to expect from him. Simon's done well here in the past as well. Utah 2023, 3rd place, made that podium. So pretty good there. And for Connor, last year he lost to Odie in the top 16. I mean, that's one of those, if you're gonna lose to a guy like Odie.
Lose to the winner. Well, didn't he win?
Yeah.
Yeah, Odie won last year.
And Odie had to win that in order for it to force the finals last year.
Join that conversation, yeah. And taking a look, here we are, knee-jerk reaction, like I said, unpacking all the angles. We are going to utilize them. So I've been wrong at first glance, and I'll eat my words, no problem. I'll eat my crow, as they say. On the outside zone 4, to your point, car gripped up. Simon could have been deeper, but again, Connor didn't exactly have a perfect placement there. So yeah. I don't say the needle is going wildly one way or the other. I think one of the drivers might have a bit of an advantage here, not naming names, of course, but I think it's really going to come down to this. Simon Olsen will lead, and Shanahan chases in, dropping in formation, passing inside clip, good placement, that front left tire for both of them. Look at that transition, the momentum into outside zone 3. Shanahan, interesting approach there in that chase position. Now he gets there tucked in behind that Supra of Simon Olsen, the last outside zone. Good angle from Simon Olsen, really painting that line. Simon with the clean air, so maybe that's what it was, that Simon knew he had a dominant package and was kind of kicking back, maybe gave himself too much room in that chase position, because very apparent out front. Placement was good, power was good. What do you think?
Yeah, Simon's lead run is just, it's phenomenal. It's so good. Great shot to the inside clip, but here's the thing too, you give Connor Shanahan the opportunity to chase well. He's gonna take advantage of it every time. And that's what we see there. Look at how close Simon is to the edge all the way through. Very smooth, very floaty. The car is not overly reacting to anything, and that, to me, is one of the biggest changes that's made to this car. It doesn't seem like there's like a lot of progressive toe in it where you get on throttle and the car bites. It is smooth, it looks easy to drive, and that also meant that Connor Shanahan was able to get in a really solid chase run. So a lot of fun there with this. Some fun kind of backstory with it as well is Matt's, who is now Connor's spotter, was Simon's spotter. So yeah, a little fun there. And Chris came with Simon back to his own team. So everybody swapping things up. But let's take a look. BC Racing, custom coilover side by side. The leads, yeah, I mean, is Simon's lead good enough to outweigh the mistakes that he had? That's where I kind of look at it. Simon's deeper in a lot of outside zone 3 than we saw from Connor. Connor had a couple of corrections that he's got to make through there. And look at Connor. He's got one wheel basically out for the vast majority of outside zone 4. And the chase was pretty solid through outside zone 4. Very comparable. I mean, taking both drivers out there, having that conversation. This is a hard-fought battle from both drivers. Really like to see how much they've both progressed with these chassis now.
What are they saying to each other?
Man, you probably got the hands out. We can't see it from here. Oh yeah, you can see it. That's the sign for transition. That little shoulder.
Universal hand signal for drifting.
Yeah. And you see Connor with the transition movement between the shoulders. So it's really cool. Fist bump there. They're loving this.
All right, here we go. Connor Shanahan, Simon Olsen. Connor gets 1 vote, 2 votes, and 3 votes. Connor Shanahan gets the victory. Connor Shanahan gets the victory. As would love to. Again, let's throw it down to Lorette Nickel, who is with Wataru Masayama.
Yeah, and so excited to have him back in the middle of the season. He's so pumped. And talk to us about Utah and some of the struggles that you're actually dealing with this car.
Yeah, so actually I'm back again, and I drove 2022 with my S15, so that I got actually good result, top 8. This time I'm driving VR GR86, so completely different, but yeah, a little bit difficult, and this car has some issue, but we'll fix until top 16. So today is so nice day.
Amazing, Wataru, thank you so much. And like you mentioned, in 2022, he came out here, finished grade 8, and he's looking to do a better result than that out here in 25. Guys.
Thank you so much, Lorette, and good luck to you, Wataru Masayama. We are halfway through our top 32. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, will James Dean's vehicle be 100%? Will he continue his reign of success? He's the only one with 2 wins this year. He is your defending and only 4-time champion. When we return, we'll be back just about a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Link ECU, let's get it. We got the spiciest K-Series built.
Supercharged Ford Eliminator engine.
Oh, good old SR20. Link Monsoon is so rowdy.
Naturally aspirated, 1,000 horsepower, LS-based engine. And then we're going to add nitrous on top of it.
Running an S54 controlled by Link ECU. Link direct injection EcoBoost Fox body.
I actually put an FA24 in it.
B58, E46, Link ECU.
No matter what engine you have, it's a stock K24 or it's a 1,000-wheel 2J. Link ECU all day.
Ready to turn your passion into a career? At the College of Applied Technologies at the University of Northwestern Ohio, we offer exciting programs that put you on the path to success. From high-performance motorsports to hybrid electric vehicles, agricultural equipment to robotics and automation, we've got it all. With 70% hands-on education, small classes, and practical real-world experience, you'll gain the skills needed for a profitable and successful career in the skilled trades. Find out more at unoh.edu.
Looking for what comes next? For that moment when everything finally...
1 minute!
Whichever path you choose, it starts here.
These are my race treads for going the distance.
Racetreads.com. Tires for every adventure.
Formula Drift is brought to you by Link ECU. Link Engine Management, the official ECU of Formula Drift. Kenda Tire, designed for your journey. Ford Performance. And Nitto Tire.
What's going on, guys? My name is Reese Marin. I am one of the judges for this round here in Salt Lake City, Utah. Behind me, you can see that we have Outside Zone 2. The reason we're here is because to show you guys that Outside Zone 2, I believe, and so are the other judges, feels this is a very critical moment, because if you look a little bit further, we do have Inner Clip 1, and this is kind of like a compound thing here. We have Inner Clip 1, you want to make sure you set yourself up really good for the inner clip. It sets you up really good for Outside Zone 2, and then in turn, it lights you off and sets you up for Outside Zone 3. So if you don't get into this Outside Zone 2, it's really going to make it awkward for you to carry the right line and the trajectory that we're looking for going into Outside Zone 3. So this part right here I think is very critical when it comes to this layout. And this has been your BC Racing Clip Tip.
All right, we are back here, FD Elevated. Let's take a look. We're getting into some absolutely epic battles here on the right side of the bracket. It is a crazy, crazy bracket on this side.
All right, continuing on. These are the battles that everybody's been waiting for. Eyes are on the prize. We kicked the season off with Freddie winning, right? And just he came in with like a clear mindset. I felt like he was just rebooted, just a different clarity, right?
Yeah.
And we know what to expect. James Dean, momentum coming off of last season, coming in there 1 and 2. Was it going to be a Freddie show, James Dean show? It's only round 1, but it continues. Atlanta, iconic track, and again, it was slick and a wet one it was.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a continuous battle all the way through the season between the two of them. I mean, whether they're going head-to-head or they're on opposite sides of the bracket or whatever it is, they're always just seeming to be going head-to-head, and yeah, we'll see how this plays out.
James Dean is the car 100%. We know what the driver is capable of. Past an inside clip, Andy Haley could play spoiler here, but James Dean wants to continue his success into the outside zone 3. Look at the placement of the car. Andy Haley, no pushover at all. The Drift Wizard using his sorcery. But James Dean, the car looks 100 right now. Well done by James Dean. And look at Andy Haley. I think with Andy, he's driving with an aggressiveness that we know he's capable of, just unlocking it. Coincidentally and ironically is because you know who you're going against. You're like, all right, that's a champ. I know he's going to give it all because he's not going to play any games.
Yeah, a lot of drivers will step up in those moments. They know you're going against someone who's going to lay down more than likely an absolutely perfect lead run. So in the chase, you just send it. You just absolutely go in. You can dive bomb. You can do whatever because that driver is going to be in the exact spot you expect them to be. So yeah, a solid lead run there from James Dean. I mean, it's what we come to expect. It's just textbook.
Yeah, that is the James Dean that a lot of people have seen just over the years, across the pond. Welcome back. This is 3rd season since taking a hiatus here in Formula Drift. And look at the placement there. Bang, hits that outside zone 2, outside zone 3, that momentum coming in. That you see the smoke signal. That is not a criteria of the smoke, but that's an indication of getting that wheel speed up. Transitioning, bang, right outside zone 4. Does exceed it just a little bit, but here we are. I don't want to say judging him against himself, but we know what to expect. And James, good placement. But like I said, Andy, that's not just a dominant win right there. Andy is right there. He is part of the conversation. Comes out of angle a little bit, reinitiates, gets back, not totally in the pocket, could be a little deeper there, both on 3, and then finally finds the sweet spot in 4. But like I said, matching that angle by comparison to James leaves a little to be desired. But overall, I think, again, James isn't absolutely putting him in a body bag there.
Yeah, it's, I mean, any very slight misstep from James Dean seems just out of the ordinary, but didn't see much of it there.
Andy Haley, the Drift Wizard here in the Evo AutoWorks BMW, first outside zone, past an inside clip, outside zone 3. Did he hit that red and white? Again, maybe tap it, just kind of like the dirt. And speaking of the dirt, 1, a 2, a 3. That is going to be very unfortunate for Andy Haley. I believe James Dean will reap the rewards there. Outside zone 4, he brings it all together. The Evo AutoWorks BMW, Andy Haley, a fierce competitor, but maybe just pushing a little too hard out there in the clean air. The clean air becomes the dusty air, unfortunately for Andy Haley. You saw James adapt to that. He even went into the dirt. Very interesting turn of events there.
Well, and that's the thing for Andy Haley is he's got to push hard. You know what that lead run was like. You just watched it. You got that front row seat. So now you know you got to go hard for it. And Andy should have just added a bit more angle getting into that zone. That's all it was. If he would have checked the car up by throwing a bit more angle into it, he probably could have hooked the car up and driven through that zone. But coming in with a bit more of a straight line approach, not getting it slowed down in time and not using the angle to set the correct course means you're off in the dirt. So, rough go.
Yeah, that's, again, look at, he knows, bang, right there. So, again, just barely touched the red and white, but I only bring that up because they don't want to see him out. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Yeah, and that's, he was out there quite a bit. And James adapting to that mistake, even getting into the dirt. You'd rather hit a little bit of dirt, but maybe not to shut it down, go straight. But if he just shuts it down and it's only 2 tires, that's going to look bad on you.
You can't make that assumption. That's the hard part. You want to be like, oh yeah, for sure, but you never know. There's times where it gets really, really close, and that seems to be the case. So
yeah, just not the case at all. As we are taking a look here in the pit from James Dean. And, yep, waiting for the results.
Yeah, I mean, up at the line, that's a tough go there for Andy Haley. I mean, he threw it about as hard as he possibly could into it, but ultimately means going a little bit off track. So see how this ends up playing out on this one, but I didn't see any contact or anything weird like that. Maybe there was that we missed, but
no, I think maybe just graphics waiting for it. I mean, this is pretty definitive, right? I mean, I don't think anything nuts. And so as we are focusing on James Dean, it'll shift to another championship contender, Frederick Osbo, in our next battle, but let's make it clear and concise. James the Machine Dean gets the win, taking out the Drift Wizard, Andy Haley. So Andy Haley, Evil Auto Works, BMW, we'll see him in Long Beach at the Shoreline Showdown. But James continues on, and fortunately for James, he'll have some time, some moments in between now and top 16 to really refine it, make sure the car is up to snuff. Nick Novak, again, not a pushover at all, but statistically speaking, Frederick Osbo has had his number for the past 5 years. So Novak and Osbo, and Novak will be leading, coincidentally, going over Osbo. Is that an ideal situation? Maybe, maybe not. We will see. Novak rips in that first outside zone, pass it inside clip into that second outside zone. Freddie, not scared at all to put that Toyota Supra nose right in the back of the BMW outside zone 3. Look at temper it back. Justin Smash getting a little bump right there, and then bringing it last outside zone. that was pretty sick. You see Smash, the FPV bone actually tap Freddie. That was pretty sick.
He's getting in there. He's getting in there. He's taking more risks every single
He was in the other pocket. He was in the back pocket.
Yeah, I think he forgot he was a drone and not one of the cars. But yeah, Nick Novak, I mean, lights it off nice and early, gets out of that first outside zone. Maybe could have been just a touch further in on the inside clip. Second outside zone looks really good, though. And right here for me, if Freddie kind of goes, oh, man, I mean, Nick Novak's got it. He's absolutely on one right now. And Freddie's really got to kind of dig in, dig deep, get back into the side of Nick Novak, make sure he doesn't walk away from him. He does a really good job of that through the latter half of the fourth and final outside zone. But I'm telling you, Nick Novak had an absolute heater all the way through this. Very stable at angle, both wheels into that zone, which just shows like how good of angle he's got and how well he's able to hold it. And Freddie does a really good job in the chase. Maybe not mirroring it perfectly, but he's got the proximities, maybe 5 degrees out from being perfectly synchronized with Nick Novak on the angle front. And taking a long way to the back.
Yeah, maybe keeping that car cool as Freddie rips it around. Changing tire manufacturers, jumping over to a Kenda. He was putting up some posts yesterday talking about the fronts and the wearing and all that. So here we are looking at 2 of these drivers on Kendas, and Freddie in that Rockstar Energy Drink Toyota GR Supra out front. Nick Novak in the black and red Kenda tires BMW. Let's see what Frederick does out front. And this is a must-win for Frederick Osbo. 50 points or higher after Salt Lake City to have a chance at a 4th title. And there we go, Frederick Osbo into that second inside clip or outside, into outside zone 3. Look at Novak right there next to the 3-time champ. Novak not giving him any room. What a chase job by Novak in this last outside zone. Make some noise for Osbo and Novak. What a solid lead run, but I'll tell you what, Novak was not giving him an inch even past the finish line.
Man, that's crazy.
Establishing dominance by Novak. Yes, sir.
Dude, I mean, there is no bigger Novak fan right now than James Dean. That was absolutely crazy. Let's take a look at this. I mean, well, yeah, judges already calling for a side-by-side. Now I agree. Freddie going wide at the inside clip. Second outside zone looks really good, but Novak has absolutely plastered to the side of Frederick Osbo, who is laying down a very stable, a very solid lead run. Transitions are nice, long, and smooth, and it gives the opportunity to Novak to really get into the side of him through the whole run. So, man, that is wild. Nick looked great in practice. He really did, and this is just an extension of that. So, what a solid run here from Nick Novak. And really for Freddie, the opportunity's there. He gives Novak the opportunity to be able to do it, and Nick takes every advantage of that. Look how deep Freddie is in that zone. Look how much angle he's carrying all the way through it. To me, there's 1 or 2 spots in Freddie's lead near the beginning of it that he's got to clean up a touch, but James Dean waits in the wings. This is big. Frederick Osbo has to win this to stay in championship contention.
Yeah, taking a look at some of the statements that are being thrown around here. It's a must-win for Frederick Osbo. He must finish 50 points or higher after this round to have a chance at a title. If Osbo is 50 points exactly with Dean, he must win in Long Beach too, and they'll be tied, but Osbo would hold the tiebreaker. So Osbo and Dean, I mean, if they both advance on in this 16, it's probably the most important battle of the season for Frederick Osbo. So again.
Yeah, this is tough. A lot of weight on this call, that's for sure. Man, going back.
And Novak not making it easy.
No, not at all. So, yeah, going back through and rewatching that again, man, it is so incredibly close. I would not be shocked if this goes one more time.
And I know Novak, you can see the sticker back there. He lost his buddy earlier this year. Do it for Keith. He lost his dog recently, so a lot of loss. But I'll tell you what, hold your head high, Nick Novak. You're definitely a soft-spoken, but a big, kind man. So thank you.
Yeah. So both drivers struggling through that inside clip. It looks like, and very, very comparable throughout the majority of this run. Although Nick's probably got more proximity through outside zone 3 than Freddie did. Outside zone 4, man, very close. That is tough. That is very, very tough on that call. I got nothing.
You got nothing?
I got nothing. I couldn't.
Not at all?
Couldn't make a decision. I mean, my decision would be one more time, but I have no clue on that one. And that is such a props to both these drivers. To have chases like that, you have to have phenomenal lead runs, and both drivers are able to put that down. Freddie's got to be a little nervous.
That was a good one.
He's got to be nervous.
Yeah, Frederick, again, these Kenda tires that these guys are running, they have had the testimonials, and a few of these drivers have bounced around, and this is what they are in the 25 season. And Novak, look at that, the composure, just staying focused. And again, Nick is a very soft-spoken gentleman, and he'd love to get this. This would be a big confidence booster for him, and it would absolutely throw ripples through the 2025 championship hunt of Dean and Frederick Osbo. So here we are taking a look, waiting for the results. And as, again, the judges scrutinizing the run, waiting for this battle. Few more battles left after this. 6 battles to be exact here in our our Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32. Here we go, slide him left for Novak, right for Osbo, and Nick Novak gets one vote. One more time, and Nick Novak gets the win, taking out Frederick Osbo. Frederick Osbo gets handed a loss, and it was not unanimous. But again, Nick Novak takes out Frederick Osbo in 32, and this was, again, I agree with this. Again, the one more time, you said it as well, but Nick was right there in the chase position. Reese, I see you shaking your head. And which way did you go?
I ended up going Novak.
Okay, and I saw you talking to other judges, but this is huge, massive.
Yeah, this is very huge. So what we want to unravel here is that we saw an error in the lead with Novak by dropping a tire in outside zone 1. We saw an error from Osbo by missing the inner clip. All right, everything else from the leads there looking pretty even. When we go back to the chases, I feel that Novak did a better chase than Osbo did. So we can see here comes the initiate by Novak. We see a tire drop there. We're going to pay attention to Osbo misses the inner clip there. This way forward, the leads are really good. And then we see Novak, amazing proximity, staying right inside of the pocket, forecasting everything, staying closer in proximity, timing the transition well. Osbo's trying to do a good job too, but Novak is visually just being able to get into that pocket, keep that proximity, and stay consistent. Mind-blowing. Yeah. Mind-blowing.
Absolutely huge. Thank you, Reese, for breaking it down, and that's how you get it done. And I'll tell you, a great lead run by Frederick Osbo. Some little mistakes here and there, but the Rockstar Energy Drink pilot of Frederick Osbo is out in 32, and the scenarios for the championship are looking more and more hopeful and more realistic for James Dean to be a 5-time and defending champion and repeat champion.
It's not over yet, though.
It's not over yet. It's definitely not mathematically. It's not his 100%, but that definitely throws ripples into it. And this, taking a look at, okay. James Dean 230 and Frederick Osbo 180. You could see. So if Dean beats Novak in top 16, he wins the 2025 Formula Drift Pro Championship. That is the big elephant in the room. We saw Nick Novak, giant killer, takes down Frederick Osbo. And again, we have some time between now and that battle. But right now, eyes are on Ryan Turk, another Rockstar energy drink driver going against Rad Dan Burkett, an old school Toyota with the new school hot hatchback. The Rain-X Toyota GR Corolla of Ryan Turk. Pass that inside clip. Good placement of the hot hatchback into outside zone 3. A little wavering. And looks like Rad Dan comes in. He taps the back bumper of Ryan Turk. Let's take a look at that again. I want to see the different perspectives into outside zone 4. You can see Ryan coming up just a bit short. Dan can't even see him. He's just marinating in that smoke there. Want to take a look at that inside, the outside zone 3, going from outside zone 2 to 3 placement.
Yeah, and this is a very contentious point that was made in the drivers' meeting this morning. They spent a lot of time going over basically this exact scenario. Lead car, when did they light off? And the chase car, what were they doing? Interesting. So it looks like the contact might have actually even been made before that first outside zone. Now, great job from both drivers staying in it. That is huge. It is massive. When you get into a contact like that, it's very easy to, kind of loop out of it. Lots of different things can happen. So let's take a look one more time here. Let's watch where Ryan Turk decides to get back on throttle, where the contact is made. Dan diving in. To me, it looks like the contact was made before they even get into that zone. If it was in the zone, it was literally on the line. So pretty tough. But yeah, if you check out on YouTube, you can always check out the drivers' meetings now. They spent probably 30 minutes just going over this exact scenario and how it would be run. And I believe the end result is case-by-case basis. To me, that contact is made right just as they hit that first outside zone. So it's happening at the most contentious point in the entire track at the moment they enter it. Now, let's not get too far into it because we still got another battle to go there.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that, if it does, play into this end result.
Yeah, crazy, man. This Utah event, and we were looking it up statistically. I don't, want to look at it, and again, crowning a champion potentially with still one round left to go. I'm trying to recall what year or if it has happened in the past, and we'll have our statistician look at it. We were looking it up last night, but it was more. Yeah, never in a round 7 or 8 round, so it has never been established that early on. This is making some history here, but again, the variable. Oh, look at this, Ryan Turk pulling off.
Interesting. So I wonder if that is because you had contact without an incomplete. If they are giving them that free 5 to take a look at the cars. So that is the criteria for a free 5 is
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, we're getting clarification here. Chris talked about spotters. Rad Dan spotter and Ryan Turk spotter, and saying there's, no at fault. This is a complimentary car assessment.
Yeah.
Taking a look at it. So no competition timeout being utilized.
Yeah. If you have contact without an incomplete and it could have damaged the car in a way that can affect performance, they will basically hand this off to make sure that everything is good to go and we get a heads-up battle.
All right, well, as you can see, the 4-1 and the 1-5-1 parked next to each other. Let's throw it down to Lorette, who's with I'm hoping he's got a big smile on his face, Lorette, Nick Novak.
Very happy and very emotional. What are you processing right now, Nick?
I mean, I've been looking up to Osbo and the whole Papadakis team for several years. I mean, he's clearly an amazing driver, several championships. We actually didn't even know if we were going to make it to our battle. We broke a differential in practice. We got most of one lap, and then at the end it decided to let go on us. The boys were giving it hell, got it back together with just enough time to get to the line, and we were able to put it together.
And now looking forward to the top 16.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to have a tough one. We've got multiple championships in our corner, and just kind of keep the Kenda tires lit and keep going.
Well done, Nick. Guys.
Wow, I mean, I'm kind of speechless.
Yeah.
And not that I'm surprised by Nick Novak's driving, and not that Frederick Osbo didn't put down a good run, just how this ripples into, I mean, I literally, like, dude, I got goosebumps.
Yeah.
Because this is just the magnitude of this round and what is going down and what is unfolding. The Rockstar Energy Drink driver, Frederick Osbo, James Dean, undeniably, you know, top 5 best drifters in the world. Unarguably, James Dean, probably the best drifter in the world. You know, here he is. You know, he was in the hunt for a championship overseas, obviously, as we talked about that, had a bad round previously. Here he is now. It's coming up for him. But you look at the likes of Shanahan, who was in contention for a championship, again, overseas. Here they are. You know, it's just when the sun shines on you, take it all in. Soak it up, Buttercup.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. I mean, you can't give anybody an inch in top 32. You just can't. So let's take a look at our next battle. Chris Forsberg, Dmitry Brutsky. Haven't done battle. I'm actually kind of shocked by that. But yeah,
over 5 years, and this should be a good one. Chris Forsberg. You know, speaking of Jersey, Brutsky, Forsberg. You know, Brutsky, his home track, E-Town. The Gambler, Forsberg, his home track since 2003 he's been going there, so it's pretty crazy. And then, you know, we were just there last weekend with that Legends of Drift event. Brutsky, a new generation of Brutsky entering the conversation. Jacob fighting for his license to join Prospect. Love the stories, and you know what's so small has just absolutely grown universally. So here we go. Christopher Forsberg, a 3-time champion himself, would love to take out Dmitry Brutsky, but Brutsky never settled here in that BMW. Chris Forsberg, wow, aggressive flick into that first outside zone, and now into the second outside zone. Outside zone 3 goes Christopher Forsberg. Brutsky, you can see he does have that proximity. He needs to throw more angle on it. Outside zone, transitioning to outside zone 4. Kind of a straight line from Forsberg. He does find that sweet spot, gets involved in the dirt, hangs on to it. Look at him. Did you see him fighting it?
Yeah.
That front wheel was like shimming, like, don't suck me out there, man. Come on.
Hold.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a wild one there from Forsberg, and Dmitry. It looks like he might have shut it down partway through that run. So curious on that one, but for me, Forsberg's initiation was absolutely wild. Like kind of a throwback, you know, big old whip into it. Looked like he just had a ton of fun with it. Look at. Gets that car loaded up, big flick, perfect angle coming through there. Isn't able to quite get all the way through that inside clip. Does a great job through the second outside zone. The Brutsky gets caught a little bit off angle through there. Does make a touch of contact with Forsberg. Very, very steady line. Does make a ton of corrections, even though he wasn't completely in the box. And then Brutsky just shuts it down, going into outside zone 4. And Chris fighting to keep that car on track as he gets through, throwing up that dust cloud. But yeah, man, I mean, big initiation from Chris Forsberg. I'm curious to see if he's going to end up doing that for the rest of the day, because it's a good technique. I like it. Brutsky actually pushing Chris a little bit deeper into that zone. And then through that transition, that is it for Dmitry. He just shuts it down. So not sure if he's having a mechanical. What all's going on is young lad, his spotter up here, having the communication. So we'll see.
What'd you call him, young blood?
His young lad.
Oh, young lad.
Young lad.
I'm called young blood.
No.
What's up, young blood? Got Jacob up here, and you can see Lorette down there with Freddie, and as we talk about his composure, that's kind of the most somber I've seen Osbo in quite some time, but you can still see a smirk on his face, and I'm sure he'll have some perspective for us as we take a look here at Forsberg and Brutsky's line here.
Yeah, really interesting. So that right there, just a quick little touch, and it was a little bit after then Forsberg out on the correct line. Now we're running on slow-mo, so it seems a little bit more. But yeah, Brutsky shut it down before he gets in outside zone 4. Took him a long while to flip the car around and get back to the line. So there may be a situation where he's having some sort of mechanical as we still see him sitting there.
Or or like we saw earlier of that complementary assessment of the vehicles between Burkett and Turk, that contact.
Yeah,
Brutsky might be requesting of, hey, can I look at the car, make sure it's good? So you can see some photos. Matt Sopa down there, my co-host with Prospect, snapped the photos, sending them up here. Hey, maybe some contact. You know, just making sure the cars are 100%.
Yeah, you don't want a small contact like that to create a bigger issue, and then somebody goes out because of it when it could have been resolved. But yeah, I got some signs going on.
Got umbrellas, smart folks right there. Those protect yourself from the sun. The sun just feels intense.
It's closer to it.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, we're at elevation. We're closer to the sun.
Might as well be walking on the sun. I know you're a big Smash Mouth fan.
Love Smash Mouth.
Dude.
Such an underrated hit.
Dude, with the shape of an L on his forehead.
different song, but yeah, I mean, great line.
I know, but I'm Smash Mouth, so.
Yeah.
Speaking of Smash Mouth, Smash Bumpers. We saw, look at Forsberg with a left foot brake. Okay, so we're hearing from the officials. The judges are saying that it is Brudski at fault. So Brudski, if you wanted to, look at, I saw some parts fly off. Yeah. Brudski, if he wants to get hands on the car, he would have to call his competition timeout. And it looks like they are pulling away from the line. So Brudski will call a competition timeout, and they'll head back to the pits. So another halfway through a battle. Brudski and Forsberg will look at their vehicles. But again, if Forsberg can't get hands on his car, as the plot thickens, we know for sure Frederick is out. Lorette, down to you. He's always got a great attitude and obviously a very big talent. Nick Novak, holy cow.
Yeah, absolutely. And Freddie was talking about exactly that, and he had high expectations for Nick. And if you would walk us through that battle for us.
So Nick led first, lightning quick. I know he didn't have a lot of practice today, but we knew that he was going to be really good here. I mean, I battled Nick before the season. I battled him before previous seasons. He might not be that star driver yet, but he has it in him. He's a fantastic driver, and we definitely didn't take any of this lightly. I didn't quite get up on his door in my chase. He was really quick, gripped up, and placed the car really well, so didn't quite get in the pocket with him. Had to cheat the line a little bit into the last corner to keep up, so it started falling apart a little bit there, and in my lead, I made a mistake. I was a little bit too wide at initiation. I think the rest was pretty good, but he was right there with me the whole time, so lost to the better man today, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And now, you know, James has done a fantastic job this year with the championship title, but Nick, if there's anyone that can take him out, it's Nick.
For sure. Yep. And high praise for Nick Novak, and Freddie gave me a list of some of the things he's going to refocus on and develop for Long Beach too, guys.
Absolutely class act. Some kind words from a three-time champion, knocked out, and give him his flowers, man. And that, like you said, if anybody can do it, Nick's a good man. That was awesome. Well said, Freddie. Always a consummate professional, gentleman, and a scholar. All right, moving along, back to the action of the second half. Rad Dan, as Dan Burkett in that Rad Industries Mark IV Toyota Supra, transitioning into that third outside zone. Ryan Turk, you can see a little bit of struggling there in that chase, gets out there. I want to assess this again. At launch, it didn't feel just clinical. It felt a little just herky-jerky now. Great placement in the outside zone 4. I want to look at this again. We were kind of recollecting on Freddie and Novak, but let's run it back, Jacob. And keep in mind, this is the second portion of this battle.
Yeah, so for me, I mean, Rad Dan out front, big swing initiation, but that car is hooking pretty quick. So not able to get into that inside clip, gets into the second outside zone, and once that car grips, it just fires. So he's able to fill that second outside zone. You can see it again here. The car is really, really gripped up. And once he gets it wrangled, it looks amazing. He's able to fill the zone, he's able to hold on to it, but the car, when it does hook, is pretty tough for him to handle. And that's kind of what it looks like for me, is just maybe a slight miscalculation on setup, because look at the moment he gets on that throttle, that Supra wants to take off. And for Ryan Turk, in the chase, he's doing a really good job of adapting. He's not overcommitting. He's just kind of worming his way up there, the little wiggle into the side of Rad Dan before the run is over, to make sure that that he can show proximity at least by the end of it. So probably need a side-by-side, because we've had a couple of runs there in between, and get a quick refresher on everything that happened on the first run.
Definitely going to have to take a look at that BC Racing custom coilover side-by-side. Go for gold is the motto. And who is moving on?
Yeah, so for me right now, Turk's got a really solid lead all the way through. We did have that checkup and that contact at the beginning of outside zone 3. That's what gave them that time to go take a look at the cars, and a bit of a break in between. And then Turk, he misses a lot of outside zone 4. Now, some of that does come down to the contact that was made before, but you would hope that he'd have things cleared up by then. So not an open and shut, not an easy one here for the judges. And we'll see which way that goes. We have this, picturesque backdrop.
I know. I'm just looking. I mean, that looks like something from one of our media guys, including Larry Chen, who's not here. He's in Bernay right now. But Ryan Turk gets the win over Rad Dan Burkett. So Turk unanimously gets the victory, and the Rain-X Toyota GR Corolla gets the win. The Rockstar Energy Drink driver moves on. Rad Dan Burkett, unfortunately, being handed the loss. It wasn't like I said, clinical is the word that I could think of. You know, there's some moments where they really just need to tidy it up. I don't think that was just an absolute dominant performance by Ryan Turk. Some wavering on both sides. I would say just Ryan Turk had that narrow edge over Rad Dan.
Yeah, and the bit of contact didn't help that situation, but yeah, for me, Rad Dan's done so well this weekend. Seeing the way he's progressed in seating was amazing. Had a great chat with him afterwards, and big congratulations, big high five, and just kind of said, I'm like, hey man, I'm stoked on your driving, and keep it up. Yep. So yeah, in this case, maybe just a touch too much grip, and wasn't able to handle it, but we move on to our next battle, Adam LZ and Ryan Literal. This will be a fun one.
This will be a fun one. Adam LZ, you know, he's in the hunt for that championship coming into this round, but mathematically, I believe he's out. But
I think there's a scenario where if James loses in top 16 and Adam goes on to win this and does quite well in Long Beach too, I believe it could still happen. So a lot of different scenarios going on.
Holy cow, dude, they're like, we're talking about scenario, and that's what's so funny is like, we're like, you do this, you do that, and you're like, oh wait, seating bracket. Holy cow, all right, now we're talking about something totally, that's what Brian just said over his shoulder. But let's talk about the task or the battle at hand, Adam LZ versus Ryan Literal. Ryan Literal took a little hiatus there mid-season or just in the latter portion, and he's back. You know, he's got some family here in Utah, so maybe getting his mind right and getting his car right. Adam LZ will lead in that Drift HQ BMW E36. Ryan Literal in the RB Army Sunoco S chassis. Ryan Literal chasing him down. Let's see what Adam's got out front. Looks like a drag race from the start there as Ryan Literal fires off into that first outside zone, pass an inside clip. Great placement by both the drivers. Ryan Literal comes unwound a little bit there now, attacking the outside zone 3. Literal goes off into the dirt, I think.
Where did he go?
Can't even see him, like a magic tag.
Okay. Yeah, Literal, full disappearing act there.
Yeah, stage left. So very unfortunate for Ryan Literal. He exits off. Let's get that overhead view.
Adam, out of the gate, getting the tires lit up, does a great job through outside zone 1, inside clip, outside zone 2, all looks solid. And then Literal goes in for that dive. Once he lights off, the car just loses front bite and then slides off into the distance. We've seen this a couple of times. It's been a bit of an issue with that understeer. That's a very prime example of what happened there with Ryan Literal. So look, it goes, car starts to float out, gets back on throttle, and it just cuts the other way. And Ryan Literal lost in the dust and the smoke, where Adam LZ able to go on and finish up that run. It was pretty wild there for Ryan Literal.
Yeah, unfortunate for him. Like I said, took that hiatus back here and just already to line. He's like, knowing Ryan, he's like, all right, you know, get your mind right. Let's go. Put down a good lead run. He's got the clean air, the 909. Us versus them, and got that low steez. He's got the IE in his heart. Adam LZ, originally from the Northeast, now residing in Florida. That LZ compound, definitely a busy boy. Traveling all over, building cars, ripping cars.
Busy guy. I mean, we got our classic RB versus 2J battle going on. Yeah. Cast your votes in the comments. What do you think?
Well, major advantage here, and like we talk about, those DraftKings bets, put them in before the top 16 DraftKings NXT bets. You saw nxtbets.com/playFT. Here we go. Ryan Literal out of the gate, rips through that start chicane, and again around the bubble. LZ drops into it, he bursts the bubble, but you're allowed to do that as a chase vehicle. Into that second outside zone. Literal, a lot more concise here. He needs to put down a strong lead run if he wants to get this advantage, and Adam LZ, let's be honest, needs to make a major mistake given that Ryan Literal went off. So not the tidiest run from Adam LZ, and Literal does shoot off into the gravel. That won't be an incomplete, but that first battle definitely will, and I just don't think that mistakes, and again, the wavering from Adam LZ is enough to offset Ryan Little's major mistake.
Yeah, I mean, literal incompleted. So for LZ, it's just a matter of getting through this battle, keep some proximity, don't get hit with an inactive chase, which I don't think he did at any point in time. And it's some practice. It's another lap down, another bit of time behind the wheel and understanding what this track is doing. Things will change pretty drastically once we get into maybe some more overcast or the temps come down a little bit later on in the afternoon. But for Adam, it's just another day behind the wheel.
Hey, well, guess what? Adam LZ gets the win, and you could get the win as well if you're here in the building. Go to the Sim Magic Drift Exhibition meet and greet. You can meet Adam LZ, you can meet Frederick Osbo, Jonathan Castro, Ken Gucci here in the building, 2:30 to 2:50 here in Utah. So meet the drivers over at Sim Magic. And as things are heating up, we throw it down to Lorette Nickel. It's hot down there.
Well, thank you so much. I was going to show you guys behind the scenes. Richie and Matt were filming with Ryan earlier, but Ryan, we are so happy to see that smile on your face. But it wasn't easy because you had about 4 laps of practice.
Yeah, we've been going through it this weekend on just some mechanicals and just the car fighting us. So the team's been awesome. We've got everything replaced in a very quick time. And it's just these Pro Spec weekends, we also have a very short time frame of practice as well. So it's just been tough to get laps out there. And going out here in top 32, I was obviously extra nervous and not fully comfortable on track. And I'm just glad that we were able to make it happen and move on and kind of gather ourselves up, make a couple changes to the car for what we learned out there in top 32 and apply that to 16 and hopefully keep this ball rolling.
What were the mechanical issues you were facing that you can tell us?
Yeah, so we had a couple axles go, we had a nitrous solenoid go, and a couple other little smaller things. So those are the big ones that were a little more time consuming to fix.
Ryan, thank you very much. We'll see you in top 16.
There it is. Couple of New Hampshire kids right there. Lorette and Ryan Turk from New Hampshire. Live free or die is the motto, and looks like he will live free. Don't die on us, okay? Just drive moderately fast and get home safely. All right, Chris Forsberg and Brudski slide back into the conversation. They had that contact earlier. Brudski did call a competition timeout, and Forsberg and that NOS energy drink, Nismo All New Z, he's got Neft on the roof and Neft vodka at the bar. We'll see if he celebrates. A little cocktail mixer. Forsberg to go against, oh man, Ryan Turk, a Drift Alliance, old school battle here for you kids out there, all you millennials. Look up Drift Alliance. Man, they're like the motley crew of drifting. They've grown up, married, have kids. So quite a different Drift Alliance nowadays.
Yeah,
but,
it's a little more slowed down. Yeah,
taking some pills, but not. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
Ones.
All right, here we go. Moving on to our next battle. Again, this is how it's shaped up here in our Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32. We are on that Forsberg-Brudski battle right now, but 3 more battles left. Sorensen and Jones, Manoa Mata, TLO, and Odi Bakshis. Forsberg and Brudski, the second half of this battle. After this, 3 more battles, but James Dean 1 win away from clinching a 5th and a repeat championship here in Formula Drift. James the Machine Dean living up to his name. 1 win away from locking it up with still a whole entire round left. Shoreline Showdown, and again, a new event. Buy your tickets now, October 17th and 18th. It's going to be a barn burner, a new track. It's not like round 1. It bears repeating. Join us there, October 17th and 18th for the final round. They're going to be there as well. Dmitry Brudski, Chris the Force Forsberg initiating the first outside zone. Brudski rips that BMW past and inside that 3rd outside zone. Get in the dirt. Oh, and Brudski spins.
Man.
And Brudski takes himself out. He had a gap on Chris Forsberg. Forsberg will complete the entirety of this run. And unofficially, Forsberg gets the win. He'll go against Ryan Turk in the top 16.
Yeah, I think, Brudski's obviously got to push really hard to get back out there, putting on a bit of a show. Using up whatever's left of the tires on that car.
A lot of aggression right there.
Yeah, I get it.
You know?
You're going to be frustrated.
Yeah, so there you go. Smoke him if you got him, and he's got him. Chris Forsberg gets the win, and the NOS Energy Drink Nismo Auto Parts, all new Z. Chris Forsberg gets the win. He'll go against Ryan Turk in the top 16, a good friend of his. 3 more battles left. Adam LZ waits to see who's going against Brandon Sorensen or Jeff Jones. After that, Hiroya Manoa just turned 16 years old. Happy birthday to his mom as well. Austin Mata, and he's an absolute weapon of a driver. TLO, Tommy Lemaire, making the jump from prospect to pro, the French-Canadian driver. And of course, Odi Bakshish, talented Odi Bakshish.
I wanted to do a quick math here. Do you know that you have potentially said Forsberg gets the win 300 times?
Chris Forsberg gets the win.
I just thought of that.
301
Well,
times,
I mean, this could be 302. I'm going to guess you might have missed it once or twice and just said something else. But, yeah, you potentially said it 300 plus
and,
times.
You know, I mean, we just got, you know, friendship tattoos when we were in Jersey last weekend.
Very cute.
I'll just get Chris Forsberg gets the win on there, too.
Or you just get gets the win and he gets Forsberg.
Yeah. Brandon Sorensen, Jeff Jones, Sorensen, again, just a very talented young man. Love where his sights are set, and that's high in the sky. And you can see, look at Jeff Jones getting his number 3 out of the 4 times Brandon has beat him. You can see that just below 50% winning average for both of them. But keep in mind, just over the last 5 years, Jeff Jones throwing his own events, Hot Pit Auto Fest in Southern California and in that Southwest region. Be sure to check out Hot Pit Auto Fest. He pilots that Evo Auto Works Nissan 370Z, and Brandon Sorensen lighting him up in his United States Air Force BMW. The Sorensen trio, Amanda Sorensen and Cameron Sorensen, 13 years young, competing in Prospect. They had a nice Formula Drift Instagram takeover. Saw that, I was watching that this morning. Cameron and Brandon and Amanda having that conversation going. Brandon pulls up to the start gantry, and here comes Jones. What do you expect here?
I mean, Brandon's so clinical. Every once in a while he gets a little bit off the rails, goes kind of crazy, and that's kind of the only times he gets knocked out. Jeff Jones, known for taking out some really, really big drivers. He's 3-3 against Oslo, to give you an idea.
Wow.
So he can take down anybody.
Yep, well, we've seen it. Here goes Brandon Sorensen across that bubble into the first outside zone and the second. Really good placement. You talked about clinical. There's your scalpel. It's a BMW. And into that third outside zone. Good transition, good placement. Overall, yeah, I had Brandon, look at that outside zone 4. Man, if I feel like if you need a mole removed or something, Brandon's your guy. I mean, like, I'm not saying he's going to perform open heart surgery, but, you know, just maybe something superficial. He can take it off. Yeah. But he was a doctor right there.
His leads are always incredible. They're very, very calculated. As he's gotten older, he's calmed down quite a lot as a driver, which is necessary because you don't want to, take yourself out by just getting a little bit too crazy. Jeff Jones does a really good job of adapting throughout this thing. Brandon's giving him every opportunity in the world to get in the pocket. Very stable all the way through. Through this transition, though, Jeff just not able to keep the pace. Brandon has so much speed going between 3 and 4. And I know, with Kojima helping to set up that car, just touching the edge of that white line, though. That's interesting. To see if that comes into play at all with Brandon, but I don't think he crossed it, but very, very close to it. Where Brandon traditionally makes these mistakes is going to be in the chase, where he likes to be aggressive. He always likes to end the runs, right on the door of somebody. And as long as he can keep that quelled, knowing he's got a pretty good advantage right now over Jeff Jones, he can easily take home this win. But he's got to keep himself calm, not overcommit, not do anything crazy in the chase. And Jeff Jones, he's got to just nail this.
Yeah, he's got to nail it. And I think knowing Jeff, he's going to go for that X factor.
Yeah.
And just really kind of just throw it in so hard. And he is the epitome of, we always say that, don't leave in the judge's hands. He's one of those guys, wreckers or checkers.
Yes.
I feel like he just goes for that X factor, the unknown of just that. It could be the rate to angle, the placement, the aggressiveness of it, just, riding that course edge. But with that course edge, you could get cut and just fall off, get into that dirt. But Evo Auto Works, Nissan Z of Jeff Jones goes in. I mean, good placement. I eat my words right now because he's now clinical. They have changed the order. And look at Brandon. A little bit of corrections there in the chase position. But Jeff Jones, look at that. A little bit deeper on outside zone 3, going into 4. There goes Jeff Jones. This is what I was talking about. Okay. I mean, if that didn't come to fruition there, just riding on the edge, got involved in that dirt, that'll just be a little deficit. That'll just knock it down just a little bit, but that's not an incomplete.
Yeah, Jeff looked really, really solid all the way through this run. Brandon taking more of the straight line on that initiation, gets into a good spot on Jeff Jones to outside zone 1 and 2 in the inside clip. Gets caught out a little bit in transition, maybe popped through the smoke a bit, but I like the way that Brandon, without doing anything wild, regains that proximity, but kind of gives up a little bit on that zone and tries to make the proximity back through outside zone 4. Almost overcommits there. That was interesting. I didn't catch that on that first run. I'm wondering if Brandon did make contact and push Jones wide through outside zone 4. So Brandon gets caught a little bit on the inside, doesn't panic, doesn't make any rash decision there. But let's see, as they transition between 3 and 4, Brandon is in, and is there? It's just in the smoke. Okay, I think Jeff had already dropped the tire by that point. But yeah, he was in there, giving a little door smooch.
Little how's your father? A little kiss on the forehead.
Yeah, a little kiss on the forehead. Yeah.
Is that just not like if I just leaned over right now and kissed you on the forehead?
Do we have HR?
No. Gosh, no.
I know. I can tell. But yeah,
it's a sign of respect.
Got it. All right.
It was a gift. It was a gift from me to you, Jacob.
I will try and remember that next time it happens. Inside clips look solid. I mean, this is a pretty tight battle here. Brandon, I mean, that's a pretty big mistake for outside zone 3 because Jeff had a very, very solid lead run on this. But then Brandon absolutely walks away from Jeff on his lead run. So they kind of traded, there's a little bit of a tick and tack there between outside zone 3 and outside zone 4. Yeah, I know.
Just doing the scale hand gestures right here. Just outweighing, that lead, that chase, that run, the placement, the tire in the dirt, the falling back, the correction. Slide him left for Brandon, slide him right for Jones. One more time. Yeah. One more time, and I totally agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All in unison. One more time. I think those were perfectly, like I said, the scale. It was like, okay, well, Brandon fell back, did this, but Jeff fell back and did this. And then he went to the tire. And then, well, again, who did not fall off is this gentleman, Adam LZ. Congrats to Adam. He's moving on. And he's going against either Sorensen or Jones, Lorette. So who do you rather go against, Brandon or Jeff Jones?
Would you rather go against Brandon or Jeff Jones? Jared. Just put him on the spot. We were talking about visibility here, Jared. This is what we were talking about. So let's talk about the visibility of the track.
Yeah, this track I think is a little bit easier this year compared to last year because the zone on the first corner isn't like off track, where before like that was kind of blind. But what we were talking about is spotting is really difficult at this track. So Ginge, my spotter, there's no one point where you can see the whole track. So I'm like using people's Instagram stories and any live stream I can find during practice to try to see the zones. So when you came up before, I was in the car. That was the first time I got to actually see my full run, like clearly to know where I was on track.
I had no idea. There's cars on track, so I'm going to let you go, but thank you so much for the insight. Appreciate it.
I think the correct answer is I like turtles. Just default to that.
There are turtles at the compound. So.
Apparently, he's going to go against either Brandon or Jeff Jones. And apparently, we'll see. Again, visibility is always a factor. Outside zone 3, I think the wind is helping clear it out a little bit because I thought it was going to be more of a factor. Fortunately not, but just because I said that, it will be now.
Yep.
So Haroya Manoa, happy belated birthday to you, 16 years old, making history, the youngest ever to podium and then the youngest ever to win a Formula Drift round of competition. This kid will be a champion, quote me. Seen him driving, the way he drives, sophomore season, what a ledge. Haroya Manoa going against Austin Mata, but Mata is going to try apply the pressure. Two very different driving styles. Austin cutting his teeth, going from pro spec to pro, and he goes to the door. Does back, but look at Haroya, stays in it. Yes, sir. Haroya ripping it at last outside zone. Mata, he backs down, then goes back at it. Into that final outside zone. I mean, that was
spicy.
Wow. Spicy.
The
Scoville levels on that.
We're in the millions, that's for
Brother.
sure. Yeah, wow. Manoa looks great out front, and for Mata, he's just pushing the pace all the way through. He's trying to be as aggressive as possible all the way through this chase. And even so, look at Manoa through that zone. Mata gets into the side of him. Manoa making 2 corrections to get that car back in stable. Mata back doing the same thing. Love seeing this type of drifting. I mean, clean drifting's great, but this type of aggression from Mata is, I'm here for it. I really am. This is one of those where you're trying to win this from the chase. You're trying to intimidate the lead driver. We've seen other people try to do it, Manoa, and it hasn't really worked. But man, look at Mata. This complete body check into the side of Manoa. Manoa and Mata. It's quite the battle.
Yeah, I love Austin. He's just a cool, funky, fun dude, man. You see him, neck tattoos, but he's the sweetest dude. Like, if I see him in an alleyway, I'm going the other way.
Yeah.
But he's got his his clutch bag, his body strap bag on, and just a sweetheart of a dude.
He almost always has his toenails painted to match his daughter's for the weekend.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's his good luck charm. Yeah.
All right, I like that.
Yeah, it's super.
And again, just another testimonial to just being a good, sweet, loving dude.
Absolute sweetheart of a
All
human
right.
being.
Well, as Hiroya Manoa and Mata will come back, we'll come back as well. Take a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll come back. This is Formula Drift Elevated, round 7 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. We are knee-deep, eyeballs deep in top 32. Remember, we have a halftime break. 16 comes back. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here to the one, the only, Burt Brothers Motor Park.
ECU, let's get it.
We got the spiciest K-Series built.
Supercharged Ford Eliminator engine.
Oh, good old SR20 Blink Monsoon is so rowdy.
Naturally aspirated, 1,000 horsepower, LS-based engine. And then we're going to add nitrous on top of it.
Running an S54 controlled by Link ECU. Link direct injection EcoBoost Fox body.
I actually put an F824 in it.
B58, E46, Link ECU.
No matter what engine you have, it's a stock K24 or it's a 1,000 wheel 2J. Link ECU all day.
These are my race treads for going the distance.
Racetreads.com. Tires for every adventure.
GT Radio. Experience ultra high performance.
What's up, guys? Ryan Turk here at Formula Drift Utah. We're going to do another throwback for Take It From Turk from the Turk series. I think season 3 when I got to travel Europe. Pretty much just did a European vacation with some friends.
Let's do this.
We got to travel a lot of Eastern Europe and then some of the western side as well, all in one trip. We're out there for like 3 weeks. We met some amazing people, drove some awesome cars, and drifted on some killer racetracks all over the place. So that was one of a pretty eye-opening experience for me, being able to travel and just meet a ton of new people from different cultures. So take it from Turk, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and make some new friends.
And we are back. We have a one more time battle of Sorensen and Jones on deck. We have Arroyo Manoa and Austin Mata, but we are elevated. High elevation, thinner air, a little dusty. The sun is intense. We're camping out here. It's intense. That's right. This Burt Brothers Motor Park, newly branding rights. It initially was built, the longest racetrack superseding Road America quite a few years ago. And unfortunately, Larry Miller passing away, and then the naming rights went to Utah Motorsports campus, and then most recently, just this week, Burt Brothers Motor Park. They are our large Utah company, so some cool naming rights there. All right, let's go and finish out Arroyo Manoa. Arroyo Manoa will now lead. Mata will give chase. Arroyo giving chase. Austin Mata leading. Arroyo giving chase into that first inside and only inside clip. Austin looks like that second outside zone escapes him. Now into this third outside zone. And now ripping through Austin. Good placement in the number 3 and now into number 4. Whoa! Austin gets in the dirt. He does bring it back on. He had something happen there that I have not seen. He hit that bump and it kicked him forward. So the bump was like, I got you.
I think he went far enough back that he got to the mound where everyone else is in the rut before it. He hit the mound and bounced back. But yeah, wild run there. So Mata throwing everything against the wall here to try and beat Manoa. That's what you need to do at this point. Tons of angle, going into these zones with a ton of aggression all the way through. And Manoa's doing a good job to adapt and mirror pretty much through the entire thing. And look at Mata, the amount of speed he's got, but he's offline through there, catches that dirt, uses that speed, left foot brakes, holds it into the zone. Crazy run there from Mata, who's looking as good of a rally driver as he is a drift driver. So solid run from him. And Manoa able to adapt all the way through.
And here it is, Arroyo Manoa gets the win. A great effort by Austin. Just overcooked it and undercooked it in some areas, and Arroyo taking that hit. Not that that was a factor, but he just stayed in it, and the car placement was spot on. So again, that Injuka Racing, Jerry Yang Racing, 3M GT Radial 86 gets the victory. Again, happy belated birthday to him. We still have the one more time of Sorensen and Jones, and then we have the battle of Bakshis and TLO. So you can see the two empty spots there will be filled with Sorensen or Jones. Yeah, Brandon Sorensen and Adam LZ, that'd be a fun battle to watch. Jones and anybody.
Yeah, Jones and LZ would be good too. Jones is on it, so I think either way, Adam's got his work cut out for him, and for Manoa, either Tommy Lemaire or Odi Bakshis, both drivers looking absolutely on form. So, man, top 16 already stacking up to be an incredible afternoon.
And nothing against TLO. I'd really like to see Odi and Arroyo go against each other. It's kind of like new guard, old guard. I know Tommy is definitely a fierce driver, making the jump from prospect to pro. Haven't seen a backflip from him in a minute. You know, getting the win, he's known for that. But you know, love his attitude. But I'd really love to see Manoa and Bakshis.
Yeah, I agree. And I would really like to see Manoa and Lemaire, because you've got both young guns. Both
we get it.
Aggressive.
You're Canadian.
Nah, just hey, I'm playing devil's advocate wherever I can.
The horns are showing.
I know.
Put your horns away.
No.
Brandon Sorensen, Jeff Jones. Brandon will lead this one more time battle. Jeff Jones will be chasing him down. Again, they both had little mistakes either here and there, but Brandon, he had a really good lead run on that first battle. Let's see how he hit. Ooh, buddy, and goes into that third outside zone. Jeff Jones shoots off. And then through that outside zone 4. Into the dirt, into the dust, but just quickly hits it and quits it. I want to look at this outside zone 3. This was something in a topic of conversation about momentum. momentum going from outside zone 2, hit it and quit it, into 3.
But watch the bubble. Watch Brandon with the bubble. Ready? Here it is. Right through with the front right tire. So that is going to be a big mistake there from Brandon. Does good through the rest of this. 2 is a little bit shallow, and adding more angle coming into 3, which is something the drivers asked about, and Jeff Jones on a really tight run there. So there is a lot of things going on this one. Since the bubble is fairly new, I'm gonna leave it to you for a second.
Yeah.
Give a bit of clarification with the judges on that and what that's going to mean to the judging call. So.
Yeah, no problem. And again, that bubble, they have said, basically the bubble is an extension of that start chicane. You have to treat it more of like a wall. But again, that start chicane, the cones, they navigate through that, and then they're to wrap it around it. And I know you're talking to the judges. Will we get clarification now or later? Because I know they said if you go through it, it's an incomplete, but like I was saying, I don't know if you heard me, but basically that bubble is an extension of the chicane. A point I want to really focus, regardless of the bubble, is going from outside zone 2 to 3, because Brandon in that lead position and then Jones tucking in. I, again, don't want to unpack that, but it's somewhere I want to focus on.
I mean, there's your keys to victory. Stay out of the bubble before initiation. I did get clarification from the judges. That is deemed an incomplete for going through the bubble, crossing over that line with the front right tire. So for Brandon, that is pretty brutal. I mean, at that point, the run technically was kind of over. So the rest of it doesn't really matter. But look at, pretty clear. Not able to go all the way out. Not as wide as what the judges want. He starts that initiation early, but he drives right through it. Chase car is allowed to drive through it. I want to make sure that is very crystal clear, but the lead is not allowed to cross over that line. It's a very strange mistake, and it's a new rule, but it is what it is. Everybody plays by the same set.
This is track specific.
Yes.
This is something new that was debuted there, and you can see Jeff navigated. We haven't had an issue with it really hardly at all. This is the first time really it's showed up here as that inside clip point gets knocked over. Jeff Jones now into that third outside zone, little left foot brake. Brandon a little delayed there, getting into that pocket, now into outside zone 4. Want to see that overhead view, don't want to jump, but looks like from that angle right there that we saw, Brandon was just a little bit outside. So, giving Brandon his accolades there. That first battle, not this one more time collective battle, but he was more clinical. Some things actually came a little unraveled here on this second battle for both of them.
Yeah, it's, I'm not sure if his spotter would have told Brandon, hey, you're sitting on incomplete or what's going on, and Brandon now just turns on the aggression and tries to battle as hard as he possibly can. Jeff, he's got to play it smart all the way through, have a really good run, but not do anything crazy to incomplete. And it's just kind of the way it goes. There was an early conversation about this where they talked about you got to treat that bubble like it's a wall, so you can't just plow through the wall in the lead.
What? Oh yeah, I'm the Kool-Aid man. All right, okay. Slide him left for Brandon Sorensen, right for Jeff Jones, and Jeff Jones gets the win. Jeff Jones gets the win, and as we are unpacking and elaborating on the run there, the run in itself had some mistakes, had some good points of interest, but I want to talk to Reese about not only why Jeff Jones won, but also the bubble as Jeff makes his way back. We have one more battle left, and Jeff is moving on. And I'm going to go to you, Reese. That bubble, I know Brandon had some mistakes, but this is this is track specific.
Yeah. Through the drivers' meeting, we explained that we wanted the drivers to stay off the bubble. We said the lead driver needs to treat that bubble like it is a wall. The chase is allowed to go through the bubble in order to get better proximity. Unfortunately, when we saw the replay, we saw that Brandon Sorensen dipped his front right tire into it before the initiation, declares a 0 at that point. Therefore, Jeff Jones going off later on in that run didn't play a role in that, so Jeff Jones gets the win.
All right, them's the rules.
Yeah, and like you said, it's an extension of that start chicane. Treat it like a wall. Obviously, we don't want to put a wall there, but respect the bubble. Don't burst it.
No, we need the chase driver to be able to drive through it. But yeah.
One battle left here in our Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32, and it's TLO, Tommy Lemaire versus Odie Bakshi's. One of these drivers going against the definitely rising star, Hiroya Manoa. Tommy Lemaire jumping from Pro Spec, and we know know what Odie is capable of. Tommy Lemaire in the XPN Corvette throws it in, good angle there, a little unwound, a little correction now into the outside zone 2. Look at that, the tip to tail of Odie Bakshi's outside zone 3, good angle from Tommy Lemaire. Odie Bakshi's tucks back just a little tidy from Tommy, but Odie on the inside line. Odie, he got the invite, he RSVP'd, but just never showed up. He no-showed on outside zone 4.
Tommy's been on it, man. I mean, he's all the way through practice and everything else. He's had this car locked in. The setup looks great. He's very smooth now. Does cut that first inside zone, or inside clip and that first outside zone a little bit. Now third outside zone looking pretty good, but Tommy having to waver a bit, and I think Odie is just trying to stay in the right spot. But yeah, the transition was not correct, and maybe this is, you know, something that came out of seeding yesterday where he transitioned a little bit late and went off and lost it. Here he's got the opposite problem where caught in the smoke, transitions a bit early and gets caught very much to the inside. And yeah, you can see it right here, just mistimes that just a little bit. Kind of distracted. I'm curious what's going on with the back window there. Kind of blocked out. Maybe that's to keep the sun out of it or something like that, the glare, but I don't think I've seen that in Odie's car previously. It was a new thing, but yeah, Tommy's lead was not perfect by any means, but Odie missing that transition, that is a big, big detriment to that. Winner here back in 2024. Odie knows how to throw down when it comes to Utah.
Yeah, Odie, this track suits him well, but he's going to need to really put down a clinical, solid lead run. And again, he missed that outside zone 4. That's not the end of the day. It's not that massive, but he's going to have that fresh air, get the clean air up front, try to force an error of Tommy Lemaire. Remember, our final battle in our top 32, schedule-wise, we'll throw that up there for you in a moment, but if you're listening in, we're back here in about an hour and 45 minutes, so local time 2 o'clock. So it's a short abbreviated break, but enough time to cruise around, go by Sim Magic, meet some drivers, and here we go. It is Odie Bakshi's and TLO. Odie into that inside clip, nice and tidy. Tommy, you can see a quick little reaction there into this third outside zone. Goes Odie Bakshi's, Tommy Lemaire. Good proximity, good placement of the vehicle, allowing Tommy Lemaire to drop into formation. Odie brings on in, Tommy Lemaire brings it home, and TLO goes into the dirt. I thought for sure he was gonna, that could easily grab that Corvette and bring him on into the dust.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be a lot worse, but thankfully he kind of stays in it and floats that car around it. Let's take a look at Odie in the lead here. Good job through the first outside zone, gets the tires lit off, collecting the inside clip and second outside zone. All looking solid with Tommy Lemaire in the chase, makes a dive in outside zone 3, really gets into the pocket. Odie Bakshi's got a phenomenal run all the way through outside zone 3 and outside zone 4. Very, very solid from Odie Bakshi's. Tommy Lemaire, yeah, dipping that tire, playing with the dirt, just playing with fire, really, because even just that small drop into the sand can be enough to completely write off a vehicle. But Odie Bakshi's out front. What a phenomenal, phenomenal lead run. And hopefully this is a sign of things to come for the rest of his runs for this weekend.
All right, judges standing up, seeing what's going on here. Do we have a verdict? Do we have a winner? Our final battle. And slide him left for TLO, right for Odie Bakshi's. And it looks like Odie gets 1 vote, and 2 votes, and 3 votes. Odie Bakshi's gets the win over TLO. So there it is, Jacob. A very, I don't say disruptive, but just throwing some ripples in the pond here as far as James Dean winning, and more notably Frederick Osbo losing in 32.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, and I know during the break there's going to be a bunch of us sitting down doing all the math and running through every scenario that could happen here in top 16 to figure out how this championship's going to line up. So yeah, lots of stuff going on.
All right, and before we go to break, gentlemen, happy belated birthday to this young man, Lorette, just turned 16, Haroya Manoa.
On August 15th, he just turned 16th. So happy belated birthday from all of us here at FD. And Hero, there's a lot of nerves at play here. Would you talk to us about why?
Yeah, actually, I need to get the win get the third place or second place in overall championship. So I was so nervous this top 32, but the top 16 battle will be Odie. So oh my gosh, I'm so nervous now, but I'm so excited to drive in with him.
Yeah, and when you go against such a straight-up driver like Odie, what are your expectations?
Yeah, like it's so good experience for me. Like he doing Formula Drift for a long time. So for me, it's second year. So I need to get some experience from him, and I want to learning a lot of things in top 16.
Have you seen battle against Odie before?
Yeah, the last year's Long Beach and this year's Orlando. So like we know how to drive, like driving style. So it will be so big one.
Well, you got about an hour and 40-ish minutes to think about what's coming up, and best of luck, guys.
Jacob and I were just elaborating on how articulate this 16-year-old is. Not only just as a driver, he adapted to some of the critiques of his driving, and he says, oh, by the way, I'm going to beat you, even adapting to some of the critiques. His experience of learning English, his approachability, his likability, all of it. Great, good-looking kid. Just all of these things just add to the likability of Hiroya Manoa.
Yeah, it's very difficult to find flaws in him.
Yeah.
He's a great kid.
Yeah, just fantastic. And again, hats off to his mom and dad. But what a great top 32 for some, not so much for others. Half of the field, that is. Thank you so much for joining us here. Formula Drift Elevated on behalf of Lorette Nickel, Jacob Gettens. We have just under an hour and 45 minutes. We'll be back here. Local time, again, 2:06. So we'll be back here at 3:45. So again, 3:45. We'll be back here with our United States Air Force opening ceremonies, top 16 driver introduction. Thank you so much for joining us here. Round 7 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship continues when we come back here to Burt Brothers Motor Park.